Welcome, welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right. Testing everything here.
Made it.
Okay, I've started the stream. I have no idea if I'm doing this right, so I'm just going to hope. Let's see. Let's see, we're waiting on a few other people. Let me text some people and so I'm hoping the Twitch stuff works out well. I think I got it set up properly and it looks like it's working.
All right. Actually, I will be right back. I just got to finish setting up for a game.
I'm here.
We've got Cameron.
Yep.
I'm going to try and get my camera to stop going off of Twitch and have it go on this because I'm just sharing the Discord.
All right, I forgot about it. We're streaming on Twitch. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Well, yeah. I've got
So what you're saying is I shouldn't role play as like a bard stripper.
I mean, as long as you're not acting it out, I think that Twitch won't care, right? I don't know. At the same time,
I might have to change my character, Taggart. Yeah. Not at all.
That's prospects of changing an entire character is worse than the situation I'm in, where I have a few things to polish. Holy cow!
All right, I gotta go up to the office, so you won't be able to see my beautiful face for a second.
yeah, you're good. I got this to work before when I was trying to have it do my face on Discord, but I guess we'll see right now.
Oh, hold on.
Is that Parley?
Hello.
I think we have Parley.
You folks.
Ahoy!
hear me?
How are you, Parley? I'm fantastic.
I think we've
I'm
got.
doing good.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. How have you been? How's life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
Sorry, 1 sec. I'm just writing something down. It's going good. It's going
Good.
good. Nothing super interesting, but yeah, doing fine.
There we
How
go.
about you?
Well, I mean, since we last talked, my wife had brain surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
She had what's called a Chiari-1 malformation. Basically, hello. Basically, a piece of her brain was caught in the hole your brainstem comes out of.
By the way, did you want me to not have us be streaming when this conversation is happening, or do you care?
I don't care.
All right.
So-
super interesting way to start the land of death. Go ahead.
So yeah, so basically what that did two things. The first thing is it squeezed her cerebellum, which means that she had issues with motor control. So she had shakes and had issues with balance and things like that. Second thing it did is that it caused hydrocephalus. So basically, brain fluid built up in her head and couldn't get out, and so that started causing brain damage. And so she was having issues with concentration and memory and focus and things like that. And so they basically drilled a hole into the back of her head, released the pressure, and then made a little hammock for the little piece of her brain to live in. So, yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
She's
So that
doing
happened.
good though.
Yeah, the surgery was a success. I mean, the recovery is going to be about a year. So she's not gonna. She's
Okay.
over the whole I'm terribly in pain part,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's in the I'm in recovery and life is still hard part.
How debilitating is recovery? Is that like in bed, or is that just take it easy, no crazy parkour for her, or how bad is
Yeah,
it?
she can't do her parkour
Okay.
antics anymore right now.
That's a
She
shame. That's
It is a shame. She was really good at it. No, primarily she's just part time working right now, so she
Okay.
only is working about 20 hours. So she's still teaching her
Okay.
classes.
That's cool.
And honestly, she's doing a lot better than she did like a month ago. I mean, a month ago we still had her mom living with us to help take care of her, and where she's now completely independent, helps take care of the kids. Work is still hard because she still has some issues and she's trying to recover that way. So I think a lot of the issues are more of up here and energy wise rather than anything kind of pain wise. So yeah, crazy stuff though.
Glad that she's stable and doing good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Man,
I know, right? We know how to because we had a baby and I changed jobs and she had brain surgery all in the same year.
oh yeah, congrats on the new job too.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm now the branch manager of a credit union down here.
Nice. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Wisconsin's treating you right?
yeah. So far, so good. I think I've gotten
Good.
fatter, mostly because of the cheese curds.
I mean,
Oh,
with the
I
cheese
can't
curds
wait to
being
see your
as they
character in
are,
action.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead,
No, go
Tiger.
ahead. I was just gonna say cheese curds are something worth getting fat over.
Yeah,
Like there's certain things that it's like, yeah, there's a downside, but it's worth it. It's worth
yeah.
it.
So, and hi, Kayla. How are you?
Good.
It's great to see
Busy
you.
as always. Yeah, it's weird. Don't get used to it.
And there's the beautiful face of little pudding.
Right?
Way too many people in this Discord.
I'm sorry. All right.
Oh.
Oh no.
Hey,
We've already
now.
lost the camera again?
There we go. We could have just started a cycle.
Parley, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by my choice of character this time.
Another kobold sorcerer.
Can you say I'm playing a kobold?
Kobold sorcerer?
Kobold sorcerer?
That's what I'm
No,
playing.
but he'll be someone that you'll remember. So
Ooh, okay, interesting.
Babe.
Then.
you'll see.
Oh, by the way, I just want to tell you, I loved the idea of Abe. That was such a cool and interesting character idea. That was really awesome what you did with him.
I really liked Dave too. So yeah, I liked him a lot. So
I'm sad I only got to be with Abe for like 2 sessions, if that.
well, you'll get a little bit more of him.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Wait. What?
All right, are we?
All right.
I guess before
Yeah.
we really get started, is everyone in Fantasy Grounds? First off,
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
so once we're in Fantasy Grounds,
My character thing disappeared though. How do I put my character sheet up if I like somehow exited out of it? And by somehow I mean stupidly and accidentally. Oh, it's like magic.
Yes.
Thank you, Erica.
The man, the myth, Abe. Yeah.
Nah. What?
okay, so everyone.
Ah,
I'm seeing
it's a
everyone
good day.
on here.
What's a good day?
It's a good day for the
You
girls.
playing Abe.
Do you guys think I have enough?
Have enough what?
No, you need more.
You're missing
Give
about
me-
an inch and a half.
What
You
are
need at
you
least
drinking,
3 of
That's
those.
what she
Enrique?
said.
What's
Um,
that?
What are you drinking?
Jack and Coke. I'm just kidding. It's just Diet Coke.
Just kidding. It's just Jack.
Dark Jack.
Yeah, like that much Jack, that much Coke. No, I don't know. Just Diet Coke. Yeah, if y'all don't know, I don't drink.
Yeah, I didn't think you did, but I was wondering what kind of soda you had because I don't remember ever seeing you drink soda either. So I was like, is he a Coke person or a Pepsi person, or is he going into the territory of Dr. Pepper? I need to know
Nah.
Enrique's side and alliances.
So, actually, I got this this morning actually, and I barely had any. Um, but here next to my gaming station, I bought this 2 weeks ago. It's just Shasta Diet Cola, uh, but that's for my ice cream floats. Uh, yeah, I mean, I think I've had a decent amount of that in 2 weeks. But,
So my wife is trying to get us away from soda as a whole. That wasn't until like 2 weeks ago when she got COVID and so we had a quarantine. She's like, you know what? Screw it. And so we like bought like 6 cases of various sodas and we just stayed up like all night watching movies and things like that. It was great.
Yeah.
I crave Coke when I'm sick, so I completely support and relate to this.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna around 9:15, so in about 3 minutes we can get started. Until then, feel free to chat and stuff, and then we'll get started at 9:15 if
Cool.
everyone is good with that.
yeah.
All right.
Sounds great to me.
Hey, I have
Oh,
one.
mhm.
I have one
Go
skill
ahead. Go
point
ahead.
left. Is there a particular skill that like you cannot use it unless you have a rank in
There's a
it?
few, yeah.
All knowledge skills, and let me actually pull up your character sheet and see if I can tell. Which, by the way, something I wanted to let you guys know is while I'm streaming, I'm only going to be showing Discord, and I'm going to do that so that if there's any special things that are happening or secrets that are on my screen, that those won't be broadcast to the viewers. And so if you end up wanting to go back and rewatch a stream, then there won't be any spoilers for future things by you seeing my notes. So don't worry about that.
I like it.
But also because you know me, I like my surprises, and so even the viewers, if there are any, will not get any hints of the surprises beyond what you guys get. But as far as the skills that can't be used without being trained, I'm trying to remember. I think it's mostly
Actually,
just knowledge skills, use magic device, and I think spellcraft is on that list as well.
because per our conversation last night, I realized I have 6 more skill points as well.
Oh yeah,
So
but I mean that's for the
I went
usual.
ahead and just put one in use magic device then, just in case,
yeah, me too.
It's worth it honestly with anything that is a class skill. It's always worth it to have the one, but if you have enough skill points. If
Unless
you're
it's profession, because our
okay,
profession is killing things.
specifically the undead.
Yeah.
So what kind of
Wait,
knowledge
there's
would
a
it be for undead?
That is knowledge religion.
Religion.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
put
if we have any,
3 on
we
that.
should be good, I think, with what everybody has for tonight. If there's any finishing touches that need to happen over the next week for your characters, then we can take care of that. Um, as far as video quality, I'm going to try and get a new camera soon, and then Erica can have a camera as well. But for now, we're just going to make do with what we've got. I will apologize. There's a couple materials that I don't have prepared, specifically a map. So Vocalian's going to give you guys a map, and I can describe it for you, but I won't have an actual map for probably a couple weeks, just since we're still in the middle of the move, and we haven't had time to really sit down and me draw out the map for Erica to make it look pretty. But
Because Erica makes everything look
oh,
pretty.
she does. She absolutely does.
And a second husband.
And a third husband.
Yeah.
What?
Sorry. If yes, a reverse harem. or just a harem. I don't know. But just in case you guys don't know, Erica is my unofficial second wife. She introduced herself as such at the LDS Institute of Technology. Not sorry, LDS Institute of Religion at USU. Um,
And now the
and
whole world knows it.
a unit. There was an institute teacher behind her, and he made a hilarious face when he heard that she was my second wife. He was like, "Best." So if y'all don't know, and I think this might just be uh, Kayla that might not know. If you practice polygamy, you're gone from the church. Like it's like
Yeah, I know that.
yeah, okay, so yeah, that just made it
A
awesome,
million times
and
better.
yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Erica has my kind of sense of humor. Yeah,
Whatever. I do what I want.
Oh,
Yes.
do you guys want to see what I got for Christmas?
Sure, and then we can
Yes.
get started. But yeah,
I got a
what do you got?
D100. So when you roll a D100, it's usually like 2D10s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, about one, and you can't actually roll this thing. It's so heavy. This is like a little weapon.
How
Yeah,
much
I
damage does it
actually know
do?
someone.
It does 1d100 damage.
Yeah,
Plus your strength
You
mod.
could never stop rolling,
right.
Those get very
which is
heavy.
circular.
See, I'm
I'm a-
gonna roll this, and I'm gonna have the microphone like right here, just so you guys can hear. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
No.
It was
I
extremely
couldn't
loud.
hear
Yeah,
it.
I know. I realize it's probably not the best way to show how heavy it is, but it was like 3 pounds.
Yeah, I know someone else who got one of those at like an anime con we went to together, and I was surprised by how heavy it was. He got that, and then he got like a really tiny D20, like the smallest one I've ever seen. No normal size die.
You could just blow on it, and it was like, you'd never see it again.
Yes, yes, it was that tiny.
All right. We ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to start us off with the blurb from the prompt, and then we will move into, as you all approach just your meeting spot with Master Vokelian. All right. Welcome, everyone, to the Land of Death. Once a land teeming with travelers, merchants, and prosperity, Zelkier has all but been overrun. 6 months ago, the dead and buried of the entire nation rose at once. At first, it seemed as if the living would turn away the dead, but it was not to be. Skeletons, once renowned soldiers, cut down their descendants as the hordes of zombies devoured those who were too slow. Skeletal mages rose, wielding the powers they once held in life, wreaking havoc upon those who thought they could stand their ground. Only one refuge remains in Zelkier, the city Barrowain. While the countries to the south are too embroiled in a cold war to pay heed to Zelkier, there are those who have risen to their aid. You have all been hired to find the source of the undead and free Zelkier. You accompany a mystic Thurge and his assistants. Each of you was specifically chosen by this mystic Thurge, Master Vokelian, a man who is experienced in both arcane and divine magics. He selected you to join an expedition into Zelkier, his homeland, to investigate and liberate the country from the grasp of the undead. Now, each of you has already had your meeting with Master Vokelian, received the contract that he gave you, the details of which are privy to each of you, and only each of you. But he did give you all a meeting place. Just to the south of the border of Zelkier and Arador, you are to meet right outside the mountain range and prepare your journey into the Land of Death. So just as far as order goes, I'm going to have everyone roll initiative real quick, and we're just going to see what order we get there, and then I'll introduce you in the... Well, yeah, I'll introduce you all in initiative order. How's that?
Okay, sounds good. Fantasy
Right,
Grounds being weird with
order
my
off.
D20.
just-
So I'm screen.
Just roll physical and tell me what you get.
Okay. I got a 13.
Okay.
Oh yeah. For some reason, if it doesn't just like, it doesn't like, I don't know, always record it. I think you have to do it in the chat box.
It
when
does
you
have to be
roll
in the
the
chat
D20.
box if you.
Yeah,
roll
you
one.
have to drag it to the box.
Yeah, or you can double click it on your character sheet.
Cute. Wish I could have gotten that 17 earlier.
Curse.
Okay. Is that everybody?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that's everybody. All right. So, first to arrive, or actually, I'm just going to do. Yeah. Okay. First to arrive at the campsite is a white hair. Or actually, I'm going to let you describe yourself, Jake.
Thank you.
Go ahead and give us a character description as you approach the campsite.
All right. So, approaching the campsite is a human male. You could tell.
I'm going to step away for a second. Thomas needs help.
You could tell by looking at his face that he's somewhere in his 50s, but surprisingly, his hair is pure white. And he keeps his head a bit low, but walks to the campsite resolute. His clothing is mostly black and brown, a bit of red trim. It almost has a regal air to it, his clothes, but very worn, a bit torn here and there. And he carries not too much on him, perhaps surprising for a long journey such as this. No armor visible. And that's all that I can think of for now.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh, I forgot one important detail, actually. He does have a symbol. You could see it's this spiraling symbol around here, if that's familiar to you.
Anybody can make a knowledge religion check if they so desire.
Hey, I am going to do
Let me
that.
see if I have knowledge religion.
Great.
Well, I said I
Oh,
was gonna
never
do
mind. I'm all good. She's got it for us.
Well, if she
Nat.
tells you.
that. Oh no, I don't.
Okay,
enough.
Myleth, you definitely do not recognize it. Actually, I will say, gosh dang it. I'm just gonna.
I'm glad I got my one out of the way early.
Yes. Abe, did you roll?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Then, all right. I've told the people who recognized it what it was. Just there in Fantasy Grounds. I keep forgetting my keys. Okay. Sweet. Let's see. Second, was that finish of your character description, Jake?
Yeah, just brief physical description.
All right. Second to be introduced is.
Oh, actually, may I send the image of what they would see, essentially?
Yes.
Let's see how easy this is.
Are you doing it on Fantasy Grounds?
Oh, I could do it on I mean, I was going to do it on Discord.
I'd say do it
chat.
on Discord.
Let's see, does that... Nope, I'll upload it. This will take half a second longer then.
Okay. So that is what you look like, and we'll give an actual in-character introduction in a minute. So next we have um, Myleth. What does your character
Mela.
look? Maleth. What does your character look like?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't find a picture I actually
Not a
liked, but
problem.
she would be about 5'8", pale skin, long black hair. She'd be wearing a cloak and a headband, and all of her clothes would be like black and red.
Is there enough visible that other people would be able to, if they know enough, tell what race you are?
Yes.
Everybody roll a knowledge nature check if you so desire.
I'm
Nope.
good. Our characters, we
I
got.
got
Yeah.
I got a 4. So nope. I have no idea.
Actually, yeah.
I am not
Okay.
trained.
I yeah, 26.
I'll go ahead and say that Erica's character and Enrique's character would already
Oh,
know.
yeah, that's
You know,
true. That's true.
so
Because of background, you guys do know. All right, and we'll get a picture for you later. All right, next is, I believe, Hestia. Or no, wait, Abe, you had a 13. You're next. Abe?
So, I approach. There's a little bit of a there's a little bit of pep in my step. You can see that I have brown tousled hair. It's kept short, but it's wild. You can see that his eyes are a grayish white. There's not really much of an iris at all. And he's got a scar that goes kind of deep into his nose. You also notice that his clothes are fairly well worn, and on his back are two star-like knives. And yeah, he kind of has a perpetual mischievous grin on his face. That's Abe.
Abe is back.
He's back.
Back
Abe is
again. Abe is back. Tell a friend. Sorry, I couldn't help myself with that. But
I'm
I am
excited.
excited. Gabe is back. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So wait,
Me too.
what was the last thing that you said?
Oh, just that. I'm very excited that that Abe is back. But I was like, Abe is back, back again. Abe is back. Tell a
Well,
friend.
friends, yes.
Like,
And I'll put a picture of him in the chat.
All right.
Okay. Hestia, would you... Let's see. That was...
There, Joe.
Yes,
There you
so
go.
everyone
So-
is sitting around a fire as we group up.
There is Abe.
So I raise up from poking about in the fire because I like and my character has long black hair and a wig. She has glowing yellow eyes and has a stony owl that's kind of glowing at the rear lead on her shoulder. She looks unhealthily pale, but she has a very welcoming and hearty smile. Looks to be in her 30s to 40s, and she's wearing like a peasant skirt, and she smells like good food. And yeah, when she stands, she kind of commands her own gracefully. Most of that now is kind of like someone drawing you in with a story at another table, and the story's just really good. So that's her.
I love it.
Oh, it occurs to me that I might have to change something on here because I'm right next to Erica, and so
A light bit of echo.
I have her
Little
muted
bit of
on
an
mine,
echo.
and so you guys can hear her fine. I can hear her fine next to me, but I think that Twitch will be unable to hear anything that she ever says.
It's not like she'll say anything important.
Oh, never.
I mean, you got that right.
I try not to.
I think we'll make it work.
What never? No,
Never.
never. What never? Well, hardly ever.
So if you have a picture you can share, Bear, that would.
Yeah, I will. I have like 1,000.
Good, good, good. All right. While she is getting that,
But her eyes are yellow, so it just looked funky.
all right. Nomad, please introduce yourself.
Okay. So as I walk up, you can see somebody. He's got longer hair. He's a human. He's got longer hair, but it's well kept. He's got a beard as well. A little bit of scarring on his face, and his face looks very stern, very gruff. He definitely carries himself like a soldier. Definitely walks, in a way that's a lot more sure of his movements. And as he approaches the fire with everyone there, he says, "Hail," and sits down as far away from everyone else as possible. And I will enclose the picture. And that's Nomad.
Let's see if I can do this in a better way. I think. Okay. Also at the fire is Master Vocalion, whom each of you recognize. He is an older gentleman. You'd guess so he's a human.
Oh, wait,
No,
Enrique.
Oh, we
Enrique.
missed Enrique, the tall dwarf. Okay, go ahead, Enrique. Introduce
All right.
yourself. Sorry, you don't have a picture on here, so my mind
Yeah,
slipped right past
I
you
don't.
on the thing. Okay.
I still haven't found a proper picture. But coming in late, uh, is a cloaked and hooded man, average height, about 5'9". Pulls his hood down. You see uh, very clean skin, like for whatever reason in his face, and sides of the head. He's got his hair in a wolf's tail, with the sides shaved. He's got a beard coming down just into his collarbone. Black hair, dark red beard with a few braids and little bit of fine jewelry in there. Mostly dark clothing, like mostly like dark forest green, um, some navy and black as well. But you can see a little bit from his sleeves, a light silvery chainmail. Um, you see, eh, you see a hand, war axe on his side that might not. That seems a little bit out of place. Um, it's a beautiful war axe, and but it just doesn't quite seem to fit the person that well. And yeah, tall boots. That's
Do they have the fur on them?
huh? What's that?
You said they're tall boots, but do they have the fur?
Is the whole
The fur-
club looking at you?
I hit the floor. Next thing you know, all my daggers fall out. uh, um, yeah, that's me.
Okay. Alrighty. So also at the fire is Master Vocali. He's a human. You'd guess somewhere around 40 or 50 years old. So he's getting on in years, but he commands an aura of confidence. He has the look of someone who has had his life at risk more times than he could probably count and come through on the other side. His beard is brown but starting to gray. He has short hair, short enough to be easily kept and out of the way, and yet long enough that he probably hasn't cut it recently. His clothing though is very nice. It is. Were you to find him in the same room as nobility, he probably wouldn't look too out of place. He wears a lot in the way of reds and blues that in such a way that normally they would kind of clash, but the way that he wears them, it really works. And really just the entirety of the way that he's dressed, the way that he carries himself, you see a lot of juxtaposition. It's very, on the one hand he looks plain, and yet he still stands in a regal manner. His clothing has a lot of contrasting colors that end up working together. And as he stands up in front of you, he's got a small retinue that is elsewhere near the fire. You see 6 people, 4 of them dressed like priests, 2 of them more like no, that they appear to be dressed in wizard's garb, but they're all kind of doing their own thing, half paying attention, but kind of the way that you would have if you had a professor and then a few hangers on who were studying him but trying to be out of the way. That's kind of the feel with these followers of Master Vocalians. He looks at each of you and says, I appreciate you coming, being here on time. As you're aware, each of you, this is a matter of great importance, not only for the safety of Zelkir, my homeland, but also for the fate of the world. I've chosen each of you for a very specific reason. As he looks at each of you, he pauses for a moment as he looks at Hestia, the older woman, and he says, some of you are experienced with spirits and with those who have gone beyond this life. Others of you, he takes a moment and looks at Abe, are favored of the gods. Seem to be able to pull fate and the strings of time at the end of your fingertips. Others of you, and he looks at the other 4 of you, have vast experience in dealing with the undead. I've prepared this team, as well as one other who I hope will be still waiting for us when we arrive in Barrowain, to receive further details of the situation. We are all essential in turning back the tide of undead. I've spent a small amount of time in Zelkir, and the situation is quite dire. My contact in the city has been speaking with the leader of Barrowain. Lord Bellevant is a powerful and experienced man, and my understanding is that he is the only one who was prepared when this invasion began. The details of which I do not have, but he and I are old acquaintances. And in the coming weeks, we will likely arrive safely in Barrowain and be able to ascertain the nature of the situation when we're there. Now, I have recently been in contact with him. However, a dimensional anchor was put up around the city just recently. I scried in nearby to surveil what was going on, and it does appear that the city is under siege. I do not think this will stop us from being able to get in, but it does make our task a little bit more dangerous and a little bit more dire. We must be quick. However, I'll be honest with each of you, the actual nature of what is going on and what powers are at play in Zelkir I do not fully know. And as such, we need to keep our presence to a minimum. While I know that the abilities of each of you are immense and notable, both locally and throughout the world, we need to keep magic use, at least for now, to a minimum, so as to not draw attention. We want to know the nature of our enemy before we meet them. you can say. Now, before we begin, before we go over our plans and take a look at what we need to do now, do you have any questions? Or I suppose, I'm so focused on what we're doing, I forgot to have you each introduce yourselves. Abe, would you mind giving a quick introduction as to who you are and why I brought you here?
Absolutely. The name's Abydos. Abydos Fate. Um, my people are named after the things that they defy, and that is what I'm here to do, to defy the fate of the city. So I I'm here to make sure that something goes wrong, we can undo it. Let's keep it at that.
Maleth. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Malith.
Yes, Maleth.
I'm Malith. I'm here to help how I can.
Maleth has extensive experience hunting the undead.
I do. Of course, I'm used to using a lot of magic to do so, so.
And here we have someone who is known usually as the Tall Dwarf. I'll let you each decide as to why, unless he cares to share. But
I think my appearance might have something to do with it. If I get to know you better, I'll let you know more. But if you don't want to call me the tall dwarf, call me Gabriel.
Hey, Abe and Gabe!
Hey, Gabe!
Hey, if you're a tall dwarf, would you like a tall drink next time we hit the pub?
That'll be nice. I'd like to have another drink with you.
Perfect.
perhaps there will be a pub open in Barrowain, though I would be surprised if there are any in between here and there. Jasper, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Jasper, and if you, well, you require any magical services in the meantime, let's keep that to a minimum. But I've spent a lot of my years slaying, and hope we could do some of that more the next few months.
To be clear, for those who may be wondering, Jasper's expertise is in destroying the undead. And Vocalion kind of shifts his eyes a little bit as he says this, wipe away any potential confusion. Hestia, would you introduce yourself?
I'm a shaman. I specialize in talking to spirits, and I'll be pretty useful in working with undead with you and destroying them.
Given the nature of undeath and those whose spirits remain to inhabit them, especially those that are the more intelligent undead, I believe having someone who is an expert in spirits will be quite beneficial to us. Lastly, you, Nomad, and he points to the other end of the fire where Nomad is keeping his space from everyone else.
I am Nomad. I was brought along because of my skill with the whip and divine magic talent.
For a moment, Vocalion cocks his head as if having thought of something that he hadn't before, and he considers and then shakes his head, says nothing. With introductions out of the way, I suppose, and he gestures back at his followers and says, "These are my students. Introductions are less important for them. They are here to assist and to observe, but it is your expertise that will turn the tide in Zelkir, I'm sure of it. They are here to help us and to be of assistance as needed. But for now, Are there any questions that any of you have regarding the upcoming task that we have, or our in I am blanking on words right now, or our journey that is about to commence?
You mentioned a restriction on magic. Now, I can respect that, but I mean, I guess, how restricted are we talking?
Allow me to put it this way. I mentioned a dimensional anchor that has been set up around Barrowain. This dimensional anchor wards against detection magic, it wards against teleportation and any such similar magic. The reason for this, I can only surmise, is because Lord Bellevant is concerned that his enemies, our enemies, may try to ascertain information of the city, its defenses from within, or even to teleport within. Now, normally, were circumstances different, and he looks kind of at the lot of you and his followers, and were our numbers fewer, we might attempt to teleport into the city from here. It would be the safest. However, with a dimensional anchor up, that is not possible. That being said, the actual extent of our enemies' abilities, the wards that they have, and detection that they have throughout the country is as yet unknown. Were we to use much in the way of magic beyond what we might need to survive going through the deserts that are prevalent in Zelkir, it is quite possible that we might stumble upon a ward that has been set up to detect high level magic and would draw our enemies right to us. So, your question of what strength of magic would draw them, I cannot answer. I must say that at the moment where we are operating in complete literal and figurative darkness, it is best to be safe. We will make our way with greatest haste, but we must do so as discreetly as possible. And that means both physically and magically.
Fair enough.
Any other questions?
I
Are
assume
we
this
set?
includes divine and arcane magic. Yes?
I would say yes. I am not certain, but were I our enemies, and I were on the lookout for potential enemies, which we are, of course, the most formidable that they might deal with, I would set preparations in place that I might know when my enemies are moving towards me, moving against me. So, yes, both arcane and divine magic will be largely off limits.
And if we happen to use
And
it anyways?
If we have to use it, then we have to use it. It is better to survive than to die. But the strength of the undead in Zelkir is astounding. It took a matter of months for the entire country to be overthrown. We're not just talking farming villages. We're talking the entire country, its army, its capital, everything decimated. I've spent very little time in the country itself, but if I had to hazard a guess, outside of the residents of Barrowain, I would say perhaps 5 to 10% of the population remains among the living. No city stands. No army remains. It is highly unlikely that this was done in so short a time by those unschooled in the arcane arts. We're talking experienced necromancers, potentially even, gods forbid, a lich.
I see.
Not to mention the thousands upon thousands of underlings they would have. We could be dealing with anything. I have no confirmation, only rumors, and that from those who likely heard it from someone else who thought they saw what they thought they saw and died because of it.
Well, I hope that if we're all here, it means that we've made up our minds and we're not going to chicken out or anything.
The compensation, as I've detailed with each of you, is quite immense. It will be covered by the crown, the surviving nobility at least, of Barrowain, I suppose. Though perhaps access may be granted to the coffers of the kingdom once we free Zelkia. But as I said in the contracts that I gave each of you, that sum of payment is only upon completion of our mission. Of course, any rightfully and lawfully obtained goods in the meantime are yours to keep. I put emphasis on the former part of that. Lord Bellevant will not stand idly by if you are looting his countryside and robbing from his people. But
I wouldn't dream of it.
we will see him shortly, though. I anticipate that it will take us only a week or two to reach Barrowain. So, any other questions? Anything else that
Uh,
needs to be dealt with?
Are you alright if we take some time just to do some shopping, all of us, make sure that we have everything that we need before we head out?
Yes, stuck up on resources. My companions and I have food and water covered very easily. Lower level magics will be sufficient. They should not attract attention. But a small amount of provisions would probably be wise nonetheless. Allow us to, if need be, forego the blessed magical arts even more strictly. I would ask that you. Oh, yes, Meleth. I don't know if you're muted, Kayla, because I can't hear you. I'm catching the very end of what you're saying. Do you want to check your gain? I think. Are you guys hearing her too? Okay.
I'm not.
Mostly because I'm tuning her out.
As Abe is wont to do.
It's funny because we hear her laugh, but not talk. What the heck?
Here, try again, Kayla.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yes, there we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just saying, with all due respect, I'm not certain how we can succeed against such formidable enemies without magic.
The forbidden magic is simply until we reach Barrowain. Once we are able to ascertain the greater nature of our enemies and what is going on in the city, as well as surrounding it, I'm certain that that need will be removed. I simply want to make sure that we can get to Barrowain safely before we draw the attention of our enemies. Better that they not think or realize that someone from outside is coming in. The less that they know that we are aware of the situation in Zelkir, the better.
That makes sense.
Besides, we
Cool.
can use alchemical means in the meantime.
Certainly.
I was just assuming, but yeah, that is also why I asked for at least a day for us to go shopping. If we need to get more chemical items and just weapons or anything gear, we can do so. Also, I I want to be careful because I have never traveled with a group this big. This is huge for me. Um, how are we going to do lodging at night? I assume we're not going to be in an inn every other night.
I would be surprised if there are any inns standing outside of Barrowain. No, we will be camping. We will make a group. We will not be using fires except in the absolute need. If we are able to find a cave along the way, then that will work. We are going to try and skirt along, and at this point, Volkelion kind of pulls out a map, and just to kind of give you an idea, and I can't remember how many of you I told the climate and layout of Zelkir, but in general, the climate is kind of like Utah. You've got near the mountains, there's a little bit of forest. Near the lakes and rivers, there's some trees, some greenery, but outside of that, it's largely desert. So very much like southern Utah, you've got mountains and then desert everywhere. And so there's going to be large swaths of just sand. And then near where there's a river or a lake, you'll find a settlement or a city. And then closer where you've got, a few runoffs from the mountain ranges, you'll have some cities along there. But Zelkir, in essence, kind of the shape is pretty much like an oval like this. So on the eastern end is where Barrowain is. Near the center is where the capital was, and then there's a few other cities, and I'll get the details out. But Vocalion points kind of at a path running along the southern mountain range, and he says we'll take this path, getting up close to Barrowain, and then around here, and he points a little bit before the land starts to curve northward, or the mountains start to curve northward. We'll cut north and reach Barrowain. I've scryed at a number of points along the way, at this time at least, and have chosen a path that will take us at least as far away as I can from any inert undead. It seems that large portions of the country have what appears to be mindless undead, zombies and skeletons, with which each of you are very familiar, simply standing guard all throughout the country. And so long as we can stay out of sight of them and out from where they can detect us, then we should be unaccosted by them. My goal is to avoid any areas that were previously inhabited, so as to avoid the potential of finding any more intelligent enemies that might recognize us from a distance in a way that the mindless undead would not. Do you have any other questions before we leave? Before you make your preparations?
I've got nothing.
Okay. If that is the case, then we should take our rest and leave on the morrow. Now, as far as the other preparations, are there any? Does everyone feel confident to, at least if we were to run a minor combat tonight, do they feel ready enough?
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. All right, then if that is the case, then we can begin with what I had planned for session 1. Unless, okay, I guess other question, out of character question, is there anything that you guys are wanting to cover before we fully get underway with the campaign?
I personally do want to talk with everybody, make sure
Yes.
that we have the gear that we want
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, go ahead. And I'll say that there's
right.
a small enough town nearby that anything minor that's non-expensive magical item, so anything pretty much less than 100 gold worth, like on one specific item, you'll be able to find ample enough supply here.
How many health potions can I steal?
Go ahead and give me a stealth check,
Okay.
and I will roll and determine how many there are in the area.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, that is a 27.
So you actually are only able to find one.
All right, fair enough. Do I get it then?
Yeah, you steal it, but there actually were not a lot in the city. I was wrong about there being enough health potions.
Okay, well I'll steal that one, but I'll leave behind um I'll I'll leave behind a really crappy carving uh of like a stick man with like a thank you on like their table as I'm leaving.
Oh, by the way, if you guys want to make opposed checks anytime that something like that is happening, just make the roll and let me know. And for the sake of, if we end up having viewers on Twitch ever, go ahead and just say when you have a thing, just tell what the final result was if you're wanting to do something with that, or yeah. And if you're not going to do anything, you just want to know for your personal reasons, then just send me a message that says I got X on my perception to notice Abe steal 1 health potion from someone, or at least go looking to steal things from people. Okay.
Right.
Anything? Okay. Go ahead, Enrique. Take the floor. Go ahead. Anything that you're wanting to discuss, equipment wise.
So, I am very not used to traveling with a group this big. It's usually been about 2 people, 3 people at most that I travel with. But most of the time it's on my own. I have a magical bag that I have plenty of room in. I'm wondering, should we just get like a big tent and get camouflage for the outside of the tent, just so that we have some proper shelter uh, while we're traveling?
Not a bad
We,
idea.
we
I'll pitch in.
all right.
I'll
So
I hand you 100 gold and go and say go get what you want.
all right. Thanks. Uh,
Also pitch in the same amount.
all right.
Get something that'll cover all of us.
Okay,
So I'm
oops.
trying to look at equipment right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we can just say for the sake of time right now that you're able to easily procure enough tents and lodging that can easily be camouflaged in the area that you're going to be. Is that sufficient for you,
Okay.
Enrique?
Uh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just want to make sure that we're well hidden.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and I'm actually gonna go out and I'm gonna buy another bushel of arrows
Yeah.
myself. So just 20 more arrows.
Okay. You don't have to track that cost wise. If they're non magical arrows, I'm not going to make you keep track. But for the sake of role
No, they're
playing,
just.
then absolutely you can do that.
Is there an alchemist in town?
Let me roll and decide. Call high or low.
Low.
Yep, there is.
All right. Gotta go to the shop. If someone wants to tag along, I'm gonna just look at Abe.
I
I'm
tag
gonna go
along
with you.
too.
All right.
You enter the shop, and on the counter, there's a really weird etching in the counter.
Right.
It's such
Yeah. So
craftsmanship.
yeah, I'm gonna put Taggart on the spot.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. And before going over, I'm just gonna like look at everybody in the group. Like, please, anybody that wants to come, please. I want to start getting to know each of you better. And I'm gonna look at sorry, Kayla, I already forgot your character's name.
Malith.
I'm gonna look at Maneth and be like, and maybe get to know people the right way this time around. Hopefully.
Hey, real quick, Abe, question for you.
Yep.
I just barely glanced at the chat, and someone was saying that Abydos is a planet in Stargate. Is there any relation to that in Abe's name?
Actually, that is exactly where the name came from. Yep,
Cool.
that is where the name came from when I was creating Abe. I was watching Stargate, and I'm like, that's a cool name. So, yep,
Cool. Well, I like it. I like it.
yep.
All right.
Right.
Enrique, was there anything in particular you wanted to get from the alchemist?
Just wanted him to gonna ask him uh what do you have that you're proud of? Like, what have you made that you feel proud of?
He eyes
Because
you
I
for a
probably want
moment.
to buy that. Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard stories about what's going on up north. Looking at the lot of you, if I had to guess, that's probably where you're going. He holds up a small flask. It's green. You can smell a bit of an acrid stench coming from it. He said, "This here, this is Tanglefoot goo. Someone strong like a lot of you, this wouldn't have too much of an effect. But them skeletons, them zombies I hear up there, those undead, it'll hold them right still. Ain't got nothing to worry about."
All right. So, how much?
Normal cost. I realize now it's a Tanglefoot bag, not a potion, but yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be it's effectively the same thing. So just however much a Tanglefoot bag usually costs, if I recall, is what, 15 gold?
I, I
Or
think
am I
so.
wrong? Either way, yeah, he has a dozen of those. So if you wanted to grab those,
Yeah, I'm gonna pay for if he has a dozen, I'm gonna pay for 5 of them.
okay.
Pay for some of them
Uh,
as well, if there's any left.
Yep, there are 7 left.
Yeah, 50 gold each. Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's get on with this.
All right. So
right.
the stuff that I have prepared, we are just going to jump right into it.
Hmm.
Pull up my notes. All right, everybody, we are picking up partially into your journey. I want you to go through, so mark out your prepared spells and everything. Those of you who are prepared spellcasters, and then let me know when that is done.
Spontaneous all the way.
Okay.
So
Then,
much better.
for those of you who are not spontaneous, prepare your spells, and then everybody, let's see. I'm just gonna roll to decide. Oops. All right, everybody, you lose. Let's just do 50%. 50% of your spell slots have been used at this point. You are all missing half of your hit points. And any other daily resources, so if you have other per day uses of abilities, half of those are all gone as we're starting. Go ahead
How
and
many spell slots did you say have been used?
Jasper getting
half.
wet up here.
Half of our
Yes.
spell slots,
Half of your spell
and we're at
slots.
half HP.
How do you prepare spells
Oh
in
gosh, yeah.
Fantasy Grounds?
All
Yeah,
the
I've
fun
been
stuff.
confused by that
Okay.
too.
So I'm gonna share my screen and just
Oh,
um, I'll do a yeah, this will work for now. I'll just do a fake character. So when you are in here, once you have your spell class set up, I'll just do this as the example. So just some plugs in here. So when you're preparing, you click the dot and it counts it as prepared. I'm not putting in names here. I don't want to expose anybody's character sheet for everyone else to see. But when you go down to mode here, preparation, that will, yeah, you'll click the button and that will cause it to be prepared. And then once you hit combat, then it will only have the stuff that you've prepared. And then once you use it, you click the button and then it'll disappear from your prepared stuff until we rest. Does that make sense? So from standard,
yeah.
you have your spells, go to preparation, select what you're preparing, and then go to combat, and then it'll show what you have left.
Oh. Jasper, it's so fine. It'll be okay. I'll protect you.
Yeah. And okay, so the most important thing right now is just going to be your 50% hit points. But okay, let me check one more thing, and then we will get moving, and we're going to do it at light speed.
I'm getting confused by Fantasy Grounds. Do we push the circles when we're in standard mode or in preparation? Because it
In
won't let me click
preparation
any.
mode.
Okay, because it won't let me actually select anything in that.
So you have to already have the spell known. Actually, let me pull up your
Yes.
character sheet. Okay, so under actions, go preparation. Oh, Oh, that's right. Okay. So for you, Kayla, because of your nature, you're actually acting as a spontaneous caster. That's why.
Oh, okay, okay, cool. Thanks. That's good
So
to
we might
know.
need
I
to.
was
We'll need to. You'll probably need to keep track separately what specifically you did prepare out of the ones that you know. But
okay. Cool,
yeah.
cool.
Okay. That's why. Because you're not a prepared spellcaster. All right. So yeah, if you've got. Yeah. So just go ahead and use half of your prepared abilities.
Prepared abilities or just prepared spells?
Well, half of your dailies and half of your hit points should all be gone. But I'm not going to
Okay.
spend. I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about that. But
Okay, I'll only have 6 rerolls today then.
okay.
Wow.
All right. Tell me when you guys are ready, and we will get going.
I'm ready.
Good to go.
Okay. Any opposed?
Yep.
Almost.
Let's go.
I'm good. I'm
Okay.
ready.
The door slams behind you as the last of your company enters the darkly lit room. An orb of light is held by each of the 2 wizard apprentices of Master Vokelian. Blood streaks across their faces. One of the assistants has an arrow sticking out of his side. With a yank, his companion pulls it out and heals him. Master Vokelian is frantically searching through his satchel, blood-matted hair laying against the right side of his face. Were it not for the healing he received, the red-soaked patch on his stomach would be worrying, though no housewife would delight in mending and cleaning the garment even now. The room is about 30 feet wide and about as long. A vaulted ceiling with a beautiful mosaic stands out of reach, marred only by the broken corner, which exposes the the star pocked or the night sky pocked with stars. Mixing up my own words there. As you look at the remainder of your party, you see no small amount of blood adorning your clothes. Rest will certainly be welcome for you, should the opportunity arise in a less than permanent fashion. The last few hours did not progress as you thought they might. They've certainly put a damper on a journey that was, up until now, smooth as could be expected. Vokelian's 5 remaining followers shift nervously from foot to foot. They seem to have their wits about them enough to keep quiet, though you can see fear creeping into each of their faces. One goes back to the door and peeks out of a crack. She turns back to you all and whispers, "Nothing yet. Do we have a way to bar the door?"
Huh.
I'll give you guys a few moments to interact and look around and anything else.
How big is the door?
The door is average sized, so whatever a medium sized door would be, about 6.5 feet tall, about 3 feet wide. The room itself looks to be, actually, go ahead and give me perception checks.
29.
You notice throughout the room there's the occasional
Oh.
chair or bench that's slightly broken but down. There is a pile of books in one corner. This looks to have been a sitting room of sorts at some point, likely in a small mansion, though you didn't get quite enough of a good look as you were rushing in here.
Okay. Is there a coffee table?
Yes, there's a small table. It's missing a couple legs. They've been broken down, but yes, there's a small table.
Gotta
Uh,
grab the coffee table and rush it over to the door and jam it under the doorknob.
Okay.
can I tie the door shut to something as well?
Yes. Go ahead and make a dexterity check.
Also, at this point, everybody has seen. I brought it out instead of having it inside of my tunic. Brought it out, a silver medallion. As I go to the door and I'm jamming that table on the door, thanks to the medallion, is anything happening?
You don't feel anything right now, but it was definitely going off earlier.
Okay.
By the way, you feel the ground shake a little bit right now.
I'm gonna go. Have we? I'm assuming we've been using spells up to now since we're
Yep.
missing half our
Yep.
spells, right?
Yep.
All right. I am going
Broke
to.
down real fast.
I'm going to go up to the tall dwarf and cast Sanctuary on him.
Okay.
And
Was
then
I
I'm going
able
to.
to find the door? Oh, I'm sorry, Cameron. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. Then I'm going to cast Time
Yeah,
Flicker.
you bind the door properly, Nomad. Okay.
Okay.
You cast what on him? Abe?
So I cast Sanctuary on him, and then I use Time Flicker to go invisible.
Okay. All right. Vocalion is muttering under his breath as he searches through his satchel. Stupid sorcerers. Stupid, impetuous sorcerers. They lack the discipline to control themselves, and look at where it got us. A loud rumble can be heard in the distance, and again, the ground shakes. Something big is coming. After a moment, the familiar scratch and whisper of bone sliding against bone can be heard. You will not be alone for much longer. And Enrique, your amulet is not vibrating yet, but you know that that's because the walls of this room appear to be stone. Lost my notes. I'm going to teleport us to Barrowain, announces Vocalion. We aren't in a position to escape any other way, but we can't abandon the city. We're too close, and they need us. He begins unrolling a scroll as one of his assistants frantically speaks up. You said they had a dimensional anchor set up. Teleporting there won't even work properly. It could be suicide. And that's even if the spell resolves and we aren't just left here to die. It doesn't matter, responds the Thurge. We have no other choice. Time is limited. His pronouncement is punctuated by an explosion nearby. Through the gap in the ceiling, you can see flames from elsewhere on the grounds of this building. The structure shakes, some rubble falling harmlessly from the ceiling, and the uneven beat of footsteps can now be both heard and felt. Enrique, at this point, even with the stone walls, your necklace is vibrating. The whisper of bone on bone is rising, like the sound of locusts all around you. Another assistant speaks up. How many can be brought along with the spell? Vocalion meets the assistant's eyes, then looks away as he spreads out the scroll without answering. If anyone has Knowledge Arcana, you can roll a Knowledge Arcana to know how many people can be brought along with the teleport spell.
I will do that.
I have been able
Oh.
to add knowledge arcana. Is this it?
I got a 32.
Okay. Gabriel, you are untrained in that, so you won't be able to know.
Sorry,
even though you rolled high enough.
No, I got 2 skill points that I haven't added, so I want to add.
Is it worth it to
Just
do
skill
Knowledge
points
Arcana?
enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Malith?
Well, 1 to knowledge arcana.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll then. Jasper, that is the very sad natural 1.
Yep.
Natural 1. Still a 15. Natural 1.
Yep.
All right, I'll give Enrique time to roll. And then do you guys... Actually, I'll just send a message to everyone who got high enough. Actually, it is just you, Malith.
Wait, what does it keep saying untrained?
You, that is a good question. Oh, Nomad, you're... Oh, sorry. It was Gabriel who is Enrique, not you, Nomad. I'm sorry for mixing that up.
I'm sorry, I gotta grab the door real
good.
quick. Hold on.
So to understand, somebody's casting a teleport spell right next to us.
Vocalion is getting ready to cast that, but you're not sure what the actual amount of people that can be brought along with it. Gabriel, do you want to roll now? Knowledge Arcana. Just double click the...
Yeah.
There. Okay. I don't know why it's saying untrained. Because you have.
We know it. I'm trained.
Okay.
We know I put 2 skills on it, so.
Okay. Point is, you got that. Okay, so you two, I will tell you what it is. For those, actually, yeah.
While he's preparing, I'm going to make sure I'm 30 feet. I'm 30 feet from him, just in case. I want to give us another chance.
And I just dropped in Twitch so that they can have the benefit of what the people who rolled high enough know. Okay, what was that perception for, Hestia? Okay, so Vocalion's laying out the scroll, getting ready to cast a teleport. The assistant asked... Oh, okay. So I'll backtrack a little bit and then we'll keep going from here. So an assistant speaks up. How many can be brought along with the spell? Vokelian meets the assistant's eyes, then looks away as he spreads out the scroll without answering. I will need some time to cast this. Keep them at bay. All right, everyone roll initiative. And I'm going to run this without a map today just because I still haven't had time to get familiar with Fantasy Grounds combat.
Nat 1.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know why I rolled that.
Strength check. Barbarians initiative.
There we go.
All right. So first we have Gabriel. So what are you going to do? You can hear the undead around, but you haven't seen anything yet. You're in the room. The only openings that you can see are the top corner in the ceiling of the mosaic, and then there's some gaps in the door. It's not a perfect closure, but it is blocked and barricaded. And tied. Oh, actually, hold on 1 second. I just realized Vokelian's first in the initiative order. So Vokelian begins casting the spell from the scroll, but it fizzles out. He calls out, "Everyone come close when I say. We need to act fast, and I'll teleport us out." There is a flash of movement up in the hole above in the hole in the roof. One of the assistants casts a fireball outside, which erupts into flames. You hear something crumple onto the roof, and you smell charred flesh. "You're crazy," he says. "If you use it on too many of us, it's liable to either do nothing or just kill us outright." "No time to argue. This is our only chance," replies the third as he curses and begins again on the scroll. So at this point, you can see skeleton arms kind of reaching in through the door, and you can see movement again on the roof up where the gap is at. So what are you going to do? I almost called you Idris. Gabriel. What are you going to do, Gabriel?
I will have my bow and an arrow knocked. So if I get up on the roof, if I see a gap that's at least like 2 inches or 3 inches, I don't know how much this is.
Big enough for you to hit?
Yeah, three. Big enough for me to shoot through. I am going to shoot through.
Okay. All right. Noted. Okay. Next in the initiative order is, let's see, we've got Malith.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yes.
Actually, do you mind if I send you the message about it, or?
Yeah. If you have a, is it something that needs to be kept private from the rest of the group?
Not particularly.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure if it would work or not, so I was
You
going to
can
ask you. I was curious if that dimensional slide exploit
As
could
long
get
as you
me
can
out of
see.
here.
As long as you can see the spot you're trying to go to.
Okay. And I'm assuming I couldn't see where he was trying to teleport us to, so that wouldn't work.
He is teleporting you to Barrowain, which at this point you guys
Okay.
are about halfway there, so it's probably still a week's journey.
Okay, so never
easily
mind.
not within eyesight.
So you said a skeleton was coming towards the.
There you can see motion in the hallways. You can see one skeleton kind of sticking its arm through the door, kind of trying to claw at the rope and the table that is barricading the door.
Can I move closer to the door and cast a spell towards the skeleton that's trying to come in?
Yes. Do you want to just cast a spell out to just the outside?
Yes. Yes. Fine. I will just do that. Oh, did that work or not? I don't know. I'm not sure how to cast spells on
Fire
Fantasy
breath.
Grounds.
Let me pull up on your character sheet. For now, I'm not going to have you roll. Okay, so you reach out and cast fire breath into the hall. You see a lot of the motion stop, though it takes only a few moments for it to pick up, and you see something large start beating against the door. It looks as if it will give way at any moment, though it's hard at this point to make out exactly what it is, though it does look large and you can smell rotting flesh.
Is there a gap in the door?
In the door, no, not that you could shoot through, but you do see motion on the roof. And you take a shot. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14. 14.
Right. Is it undead?
There's motion on the roof that pops up enough so that you can see through where it's at. And that was your readied action, was when you see enough
Yeah.
of a gap to shoot.
Well, it if it's not undead, take a one out of that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Um, you take a shot and it appears to hit, though you don't see any immediate effect, mostly because there's not much to see. And, you know, undead don't exactly give reaction audibly when you hit them with something. But you take your shot and it appears to hit. Go ahead and roll damage as well. But let's see. And Kayla will figure out for your spells exactly, make sure the right damage dice are in there for them. I know that there's a way. I just need to get more familiar with that. The combat tonight will be less important to have that specifics, though.
So there's that, and um,
Jasper, you are next in combat.
sorry, not just that, but also
Do you know what you're doing, Jasper?
I have an idea. I mean, I guess I need to know what's in sight first and how many.
So in the hall, you can see motion. Um, from you can get an angle. You can kind of make out what looks to be a large hulking zombie type figure in the hallway that is bashing down the door.
Large. How large?
We're talking probably like ogre size, so
Oh.
large,
All right.
not giant, but large.
Okay. Cool. I know what I'm doing.
Okay, what are you doing?
Uh, so I want to use that one spell boosting trait that I have,
Okay,
and the spell I'll cast is Command Undead.
okay. Now I am trying to remember what the do. Is it only intelligent undead that get a save for that, or is it if it's intelligent undead or if they're under the control of somebody else?
So any creature would need to make a will save, right? But intelligent undead, they just have less of a degree of control inflicted upon them.
Okay.
It perceives my words and actions as favorable,
So
and
it's
will
like
not attack
charm
me.
for intelligent undead, and for non-intelligent undead, it is much better. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So
So
it'll basically be treated as a third level spell, even though I'm spending a second level.
no, it actually it increases your caster level, not the spell level.
Okay.
So what that will do for Command Undead is it'll increase the duration and it'll increase the range. Okay,
Perfect. Which I kind of need the range. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, at this point, since it's only +1 caster level, it won't increase the range at all, but you're still within sufficient range. All right. The beating against the door stops. Do you say anything to it? Because at this point, you can tell that it is at least under your control, and possibly everything else on the outside that's at least right there.
I motion with my hand, and I try to exert its focus away from the direction of the door, and I command it to attack.
Okay. You hear a loud smash and the sound of bones tinkling on the ground. Oh, okay. It's one undead creature. Okay, yeah. So yes, you start to hear the sound of whatever it was start demolishing things outside.
Well done, Jasper.
All right. Next up is
He gives a cocky little smirk.
Okay, so it's 14. Next up is Hestia.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have my owl do a touch spell for me.
Okay.
For produce flame. And I don't.
Just have it go out and hit a skeleton or something.
I'm wanting to put it on the doors that they're entering. So any skeletons that go over the door get burned.
Okay. Do you just have it? So the door, there's one door that's currently barricaded in front of you. Do you want to just go find a different door in the building and do that, or
Just the door with the most skeletons around it.
okay? So your owl quickly flies out and, staying high above it, goes out into the hallway a little bit, and you hear the sound of flames starting to pick up somewhere out there.
Okay.
All right. Nomad, your turn. Actually,
Now's
real
your
quick,
turn to
before
impress us.
before that happens, you hear the sound of what sounds like steel hitting flesh outside repeatedly, and a low roar. And again, the ground shakes. The There's beating that continues on the door right in front of you, but it's much weaker than when the other creature was hitting it. Nomad, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm going to use Fervor to swift cast Divine Favor, and then I'm going to cast Bull Strength on myself, and that's it for my turn.
Okay, Abe, you are up.
I hear what's going on. I'm going to cast Stone Shape,
Okay.
and I'm going to fortify the door.
Okay. All right. So the door becomes so does stone shape just kind of turn the other materials into stone?
No, I get to warp the stone. I'm essentially
Oh,
what I'm thinking of doing. I'm warping the stone underneath us to pull around the door and basically just pull around it so that it's. I'm reinforcing the door, making it
okay.
in.
Perfect.
I'm not changing the door. I'm
You're
just
adding stone around the door. Perfect. Okay.
yeah.
So you reinforce the door. Ba-ba-ba-bum. You hear a scratching on the outside of some of the walls, but nothing else happens right there. Okay. A low rumble is evident in the ground, not just due to many footfalls, but something bigger. One of the assistants you notice is crouching expectantly next to Vakelian. As the scroll begins to glow, behind him a chunk of the wall breaks apart, revealing a skeleton with red flames in its eye sockets, a disturbing grin on its face. It reaches into the building and a lightning bolt springs from its fingertips, striking Vakelian in the chest. As fast as the lightning hits him, Vakelian's assistant releases a spell on him, and the scent of charred flesh dissipates before it fully hits any of you. The shock of being hit and healed so quickly causes Vakelian to stutter, losing the spell for a second time. He glances at his assistant, then begins again, muttering under his breath. This time, though, the din is too much for you to hear what he says. All right, everybody, we are back into combat, and first was, again, Gabriel. So the skeleton that took a shot at him, or through the lightning bolt, is still standing in that gap in the wall.
All right, I am going to shoot it again.
Okay, make an attack roll.
May I say something?
Yes.
Abe, can you get Sanctuary on Vocalion?
I can try.
All right. I don't know if that hits or not.
Nope. I lost fantasy grounds. That is a hit.
That is a hit.
Okay, give me
Okay.
damage.
All right. So I add a +6 to this, and then I gotta roll 2d6s as well.
Okay. Go ahead and roll
If
damage. I'll take that into account after.
So that's 21 damage.
Okay, 21 damage. Perfect. So it's Gabriel. And then Jasper, you're next, right? No, Maleth, you're next.
Yeah.
Maleth, Jasper. Bastian, Nomad. Okay, perfect. Okay, Maleth, what are you going to do?
Yes. I would like to use one of my exploits, Holy Water Jet, on the
Okay.
skeleton that attacked what's his name,
Yes.
Volkillian.
Bokillian.
Okay.
Sorry, something about his name trips me up
Yep.
mentally. It just
You're good. It's a weird name. All right. So
yes.
in quick succession, um, Gabriel, you take a shot and nail the skeleton right in the eye. It recoils a little bit and reaches back in, trying to claw away part of the wall. And what was the name of the spell that you used, Maleth? Or the
It
ability?
wasn't the exploit was Holy Water Jet.
Okay. So you send forth a jet. I presume it's just a single target that it hits.
Uh, it's a 30-foot line of water that deals damage equal to 1d8 points plus my charisma modifier
For two
um,
levels or plus.
to each target in that line.
Okay.
So, yes.
All right. So you send this jet of holy water out in the same area. So as the skeleton recoils from the arrow and starts trying to claw back and pull part of the wall off, your stream of water hits it, and it you notice as it hits the head, the rest of the body just crumples beneath it, and then the head drops. And you can see behind it there's a few other skeletons that get hit in the crossfire and also drop.
Sweet.
All right, Jasper, it is your turn.
Hmm. I would I notice if Volkelian is already under the effects of mage armor?
Whether or not he is, mage armor is self-cast only.
Ooh.
So you do
Am I?
not he is currently under the effects, I'll say that. He cast it on himself earlier. But yeah, it is only able to be cast on yourself.
I thought that's shield. Mage armor is other people.
Oh, can it? I am
Mhm.
wrong. Okay.
Yep.
So
Shield is self only, but mage armor is touch.
thanks for that correction. Okay. So yes, he does already have mage armor on him, but actually no, I'll say that he doesn't then.
Okay, so
Unless
to
there's something else you want
continue,
to do. Yeah, go ahead.
to continue commanding that undead, do I need to do anything, or
You've given
saying
it
the
its
attack
commands.
is enough?
You've
Okay.
given it its commands until something else arrests control over it, or it dies. It will follow that command that you gave it.
All right. Well, I guess we're currently going after that one skeleton attacked Bekelian, so I'm going
That
to.
one actually is dead. So
Oh, wow!
yes,
I okay.
You're
Where's
welcome.
the nearest? Where's the nearest little skeleton I
you
see?
can see at this point, now that part of the wall has crumbled away, you can see probably 2 or 3 dozen skeletons and zombies in view outside. You see a flash of movement above the on the roof that looked like a cloak, but it's gone before you can actually lock onto it.
Interesting.
And the door itself, the initial door, is now at this point completely barricaded, and you
Are
can
there some
hear.
undead?
Sorry,
Ooh,
go ahead.
sorry.
I was going to say you
Are
can
there
you
some?
can hear undead scraping at it, but it seems to have no avail out there.
I want to know if there are currently undead that are squeezing through the hole in the ceiling, essentially. Like if they were to
Actually,
suddenly be
yes.
stopped and frozen, would
There's
that maybe barricade almost
there
the
you see
hole?
some motion up there, and they do start climbing through, though they haven't gotten through all the way.
I
Like they're
want to
trying to
cast.
pull in. Go ahead.
I'm going to cast Halt Undead on uh, 3 undead. If there happen to be 3 undead that are squeezing into that hole or through that hole, I want to cast Halt Undead
So
on
does it
those
freeze them in
three.
their place, or does it just have them stop moving?
It makes them immobile, so they could be moved, right?
Okay.
Or they
So
may fall through.
you
Who knows?
cast it, and let me roll saves.
Let's see.
Okay, and what's the DC on that?
Uh,
It's a third level
oh
spell,
yeah.
so it's going to be.
So regarding Command Undead and Halt Undead, actually, unintelligent undead creatures do not make saving
Oh, they
throw.
don't.
It's
Okay,
just
it just
yeah.
happens. Okay, then no save. One skeleton kind of falls and slightly covers the hole. Two of them slip and fall through and just lay inert on the ground beneath the hole.
Okay.
And actually, after you do that, a hand grabs the skeleton that had fallen on the hole and throws it aside, and a cloaked figure drops gracefully into the room with you guys.
Oh shoot.
You can see flesh on the bones, no smell of rotting comes from it, but you do see a slight grin and pointed teeth as it looks at you. Okay.
How far away is it from us?
Um, it's within 20 feet of any of you because the room is only 30 feet by 30 feet. Right, Hestia, it is your turn. Right, and then next up is Nomad after Hestia.
I'm going to cast inflict serious wounds on that figure who just popped up.
Okay, are you sure? Because cure would hurt undead.
Inflict serious wounds?
It would heal undead.
Okay, no,
You can do cure.
sorry, I'm gonna cure.
Okay, so cure serious wounds. It will make a will save. Okay. That will deal, let's see, 3d8 damage. I'll roll the damage real quick just to be fast. Okay, as you walk up to it, or as you go up to it and cast the spell, it will. So you touch him and you see the energy suffuse into his body, and he flinches, but it doesn't seem to affect him as much as it otherwise would. He grins at you. Nomad, it is your turn.
Okay. Relative to the black robed figure and his line of sight to Vicalian, and am I in a place to block his line of sight to him by walking in front of Vicalian?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll take 10 feet forward towards the black robed figure, but I'll make sure that I'm still blocking his line of sight to Vicalian.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to trip the robed figure.
Okay. Give me a combat maneuver. Okay. You deftly wrap your whip around his ankle and take his weight out from under him, and as you swing your whip at him, you whip the whip at him, and it wraps up around his ankle. He quickly dodges to the side, but you still catch him, and you can see shock in his eyes as you bring him straight to the ground. Do you have a second attack? No, that's if you did a full attack.
No.
Okay. Right. Abe.
I think probably the best thing right now, if we're gonna keep Vocalion alive, I'm gonna do a sanctuary on Vocalion.
Okay. All right. So you cast sanctuary on Vocalion, and right as you're running towards him, you see an arrow come out from one of the walls, and it just narrowly misses him. And you get up to him, you cast sanctuary, and as you do, you turn and you see through the gap in the wall, a skeleton was actually drawing an arrow and was about to loose it, and you can see it just start to hesitate as it's just physically unable to loose the arrow at Vocalion. Let me pull up my notes. Okay. Okay, here we are. Okay, blasts of arcane energy bombard the building, and the walls threaten to give way. The ground is now vibrating as if something immense is moving nearby. The assistant, who has been protesting the plan, shouts at Vocalion, "Hurry up already! We're all going to..." But before he can finish speaking, he is interrupted as a sickly green ray streaks through a gap in the wall and strikes him. In the flash of an eye, his body turns to ash and falls to the ground in a small pile. You hear bone-chilling laughter coming from the outside as a skeleton, wearing a pointed crown, climbs through the hole in the wall. Swirling with energy, a staff in his left hand and nothing in his right, as a green glow quickly fades from his fingertips. Everybody make a knowledge religion check.
15.
Hey, me too.
18.
23.
Love.
Hestia and
Wait.
Jasper are the only two who roll high enough. But for the sake of everybody else, I'm going to say what they recognize. You are facing a lich. The silence that follows is in contrast to the energy that begins swirling around Vakelian. The third shouts, "Now, come touch me!" All right. Gabriel, your turn. You know that in order for the teleportation spell to affect you, you have to be touching either Vakelian or somebody else who is touching him.
And it's already going underway.
That is beginning now. He's finished casting the spell, so you need to go touch him now.
I am going
Your
to
turn.
dash to touch him.
Okay. All right, Maleth.
Um, I'm going to use the holy water jet again, but at the robed figure.
Okay, the one
You're not
that
going to go touch him?
tripped. Well, she can still use movement after that.
Okay.
But so the one that got tripped or the lich.
The lich,
Okay.
actually.
All right. So you shoot it at the lich. What do you do after that? You still have your movement.
Closer to Vakelian so that maybe I'm more of a target than he is.
Okay. Are you going to touch him or um, Gabriel? You do have to be touching one of them in order for the teleport to affect you.
I'll touch Gabriel.
Okay. So with a hand on Gabriel, you stand close. Jasper, your turn.
So I am not sure how this can work because I don't, as far as I know, I don't have channel positive energy. Maybe I
So
misunderstand.
we can take a look at that later. I don't think that it will help in this moment, though, what you're trying to do.
Right. Um, so that figure, that Nomad, got to the ground, right?
Yep.
How's he looking right now?
He doesn't look damaged. He's just tripped.
I want to change that.
Okay.
So I'm going to use one of my second level necromancy spell slot left
Mm-hmm.
to spontaneously cast Cure Moderate Wounds, but the necromancy version of it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know what you mean. So you hit him and he shrieks in pain. And you can see, ironically, you can see color coming into his cheeks as the positive energy from your spell fills his body. And yeah, so it fills his body. Okay, you still have your movement left. What do you do?
Well, I tell him, until next time, friend, and I book it to Gabriel. I'll be touching him. I assume he's a little closer.
Okay, and you can see the assistants have been like fighting off skeletons and things, like sticking through places, and they're all starting to trying to make their way back towards Vocalion. All right, Hestia, what do you do?
Is there anybody who's prone or who needs help? Because
No
I have
allies.
protection from evil. Alright. Then I'm going to cast protection from evil around Vakelian and touch the nearest person I can.
Okay, Nomad.
Am I able to disarm with my whip and pull somebody's weapon to me?
Yes, you could.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to do that then. Let me just grab you the modifier for that real quick.
Stuff! I told you to take the wizard stuff!
What are you going to try and disarm?
The Lich's staff.
Okay.
I want it.
Okay.
That's-
I need it.
That's at a
Oh.
-4, by the way.
Okay.
So 35.
Ba-ba-ba.
Okay.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
All right. So you whip, you sling your whip over, and it wraps around the lich's staff, and with a yank, it goes flying. You will have to make a check in order to catch it. Go ahead and make a reflex save. Now the DC is going to be pretty high because of everything that's going on, and you were yanking it out of him. But the DC is 20.
Natural
and
20.
oh my gosh, you got it. Okay, with
Oh,
with
the panache.
impeccable reflexes, you rip the thing, and as the lich is trying to like just toss it in any random direction, you're able to deftly pull it and catch it with your other hand. So you catch the lich's staff.
Awesome.
Okay, you still
I
have your
will
movement.
take that, and then I will run over to Vakelian and touch him.
Okay, Abe, your turn.
Everyone else is around us, right?
Yep.
I'm
Everyone
gonna
else is
cast
touching.
stone.
Say again?
I'm gonna cast stone shape one more time and use the stone around us. Basically, make a shell, make sure nothing else gets through, and I'm gonna touch Vakelian
Okay.
as much as I can.
Yeah.
So
So you cover a majority of the area, and as you do so, there's only a small space that is clear, and you hear a cackle and a yell as the lich saunters over to that spot, his hand flickering with blue energy as he begins casting a spell aiming it at Vakelian. Everybody who can, go ahead and make a spellcraft check.
22.
Okay. Everybody who got above
I
a
got
20,
30.
you recognize this spell as... Oh, gosh. Where's my note? Okay. So Vakelian's apprentices are all rushing towards him, reaching for the party or someone to contact the spell. The lich steps forward, a satisfied yet angry grin on his face. It's almost as if the bones themselves warp to display his facial expressions. "You'll not get away so easily," the skeleton says. Almost, or with a sound almost like nails scratching stone. With dark blue energy suffusing his hands, he begins casting the spell. It is Dimensional Anchor, and would interrupt and cancel the teleportation, still consuming the scroll.
I'm gonna use my immediate action
Okay?
to use rewind time to redo my last action.
Okay, what are you going to do instead?
I'm gonna jump onto him and I'm gonna cast Bone Shatter Bone Shaker to push him 10 feet away and to do damage to him.
Okay, I need you to make a combat maneuver to kind of get a hold of him.
Okay. Oh dear. That's not great. That is a. Sorry, I'm just double checking because I have really crappy combat maneuvers. That's a 9.
Okay, let me double check.
Oh, shit.
All right, so. Oh, and luckily enough, his combat maneuver defense is not particularly high, since I'm going to count this as you caught him flat-footed because of the time warp thing. So, not particularly good, but enough in this circumstance. So here's kind of how this plays out in front of you guys: is that the lich kind of steps over to get in where the stone shape was still open and begins casting the spell. And Abe, it's almost as if like the time around you kind of flickers and then rewinds itself, and you see Abe launching himself at the lich. And he doesn't get a particularly good grip on the lich. He kind of trips as he's moving over, probably because it's almost as if like the stone shape is undoing itself at this time. And he trips, but he ends up getting a hold of the lich. And he's, the lich is probably about, at this point, like 10 or 15 feet. So you dash to him, you jump, grab him by the leg, and the lich doesn't seem to notice you until your spell takes part. And then it immediately, the lich just starts shaking and loses the spell that it was trying to cast. However, That puts you out of range and no longer touching anyone.
I did 23 points of damage, though.
You did, and the Lich is feeling it. The Lich
And
regains his footing as Vocalian's last assistants reach the party, and it reaches down and seizes you, Abe, by the throat with a bony hand. It lifts you up with a strength that belies its skeleton form. All of you think you can see burning anger in the Lich's eyes as they meet yours. But the terrible gaze is cut off as you all wink out of existence, leaving Abe behind.
If I saw that happening, I wouldn't leave him behind. I would release my touch on Vocalion.
It happens too fast for you to react.
Because it was at the end of my it was at the end of my turn.
It's like, so all the time is like stuttering together as this is all happening.
Hey, Abe.
well, pop in and out of a second campaign, huh?
Maybe Tiger will let me come back as a different character.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Oh,
Oh.
I could have saved him if I had a turn.
I mean, any of us could have tried something if we had turns, but
No, I had a guaranteed way to save him. I could have combat maneuver dragged him with my whip over to us.
How's your combat maneuver 24? That's ridiculous.
Could have turned undead.
I'm a maneuverer.
Oh my gosh.
For a time,
You just didn't
go
want
ahead,
me to turn undead.
you could have just thrown a dagger to like throw off its aim.
I don't trust a 1d4 interrupting a spellcaster at that high level.
Well, hey, you
Fair.
can rewind time, right? Maybe you should do it again.
That's how he got there.
It's
That's
it's
how
an
we
immediate
start.
action. I don't have an.
Once-
I would have to wait
once
another
per
turn
round.
to do it. Yep.
Oh,
It's an
okay, so
immediate
just
action
do it
to
again
rewind
then.
time.
Yeah, next round.
Oh, he's good, guys.
Yeah, next round-
Why are we even
next round I'll
worried?
just rewind time again. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Now, real quick, did everybody? Does everyone have note of what items they have on their arms and legs? Which arm and which leg?
As I was jumping, I was
I
throwing
know.
the health potion at Gabriel.
And I reached out to grab it.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Oh boy.
Okay. So
Okay. Yeah. I
Please-
guess, do we need to tell you what we have in our
yeah,
arms and
please
legs?
make note. I don't know the best place to put it. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and just in Discord chat, go ahead and just type out what you have in your right arm, left arm, right leg, left leg. If you don't have magical anything in those or don't know weapons, then you don't have to bother.
What about like all my adventuring gear and consumables?
If it is not specifically on your arm or leg, then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Since I'm being like snuggled by a lich, I'm gonna go pee. I'll be right
Okay,
back.
that's fine.
I'm gonna come across as a little edgy and paranoid, but
I think Abe's gonna make it, guys. I don't know. I think he's gonna make it.
You're gonna come across as edgy and paranoid. How so?
yeah,
Just the dagger on each arm and each boot.
yeah.
You can never have too many knives.
I have 12.
That you can't have too many.
Yeah.
Okay, Jasper, tell me for the rings, tell me which ring is on which hand. Tell me, yeah, put it in there.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh, rings as well.
Yeah, specify.
Oh, if they're magical, right?
Specify, yeah, if it's yeah.
What about a
Specify
holy symbol?
Which yes, including your holy symbol. Remember, in your hand, on your arm, on your foot, on your leg. So if you have greaves, bracers, gloves, boots, or rings or a weapon in your hand. So, like, tell me which hand, or it has the weapon, for example. Okay. Give me just a moment.
Oh, Jasper, Ring of Sustenance, boys.
Yeah, I mean, what
S
can I
tier
say?
item, honestly.
Yeah.
I was gonna get
Like-
a ring of sustenance,
So
but I
cheap.
ran out of money.
I'll give you some dollars. Tell you what, you make it back to me, I'll get you a Ring of Sustenance. So just don't die.
Okay. And
Sounds good.
Kayla, the ring that's an heirloom is not on one of your hands. Is that correct?
It is on my hand, but
Which hand?
it's not magical.
Which hand?
Left.
Okay, perfect. All right, and then Parley, I'll let you guys know or decide at least internally which hand has which, or which hand has which whip, or do you have a whip in either hand?
No.
Okay, so
I
just
have an extra one.
okay. Where is it at? I just need to know what are you holding right now is the most important information.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I would not be holding the whip.
Okay.
The wrist sheath is on me, and so is the Ring of Sustenance.
Okay. Okay, so what
Oh,
is...
and I'd have the staff in my left hand.
Okay, staff is in your left hand, and your whip is in your right hand?
Yes.
Okay, and then which hand has the Ring of Sustenance? And which hand
Right
has
hand.
the... Okay, Ring of Sustenance and whip in the right hand, wrist sheath dagger and the staff in your left hand. Okay, that is sufficient for me. Okay.
Wait. Because I need a spellcasting focus, right?
That is your ring. That is your bonded ring.
Oh, that is the focus?
Yep, that is your focus.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
For a time that seems to last both an eternity and yet faster than a thought, your vision is filled with pure white. You know the meaning of peace. Your mind and spirit are filled with tranquility. Then, as if you were exiting the eye of a hurricane, the stillness is replaced by screams and immeasurable pain. I need everybody to roll a D100. Except
Perfect.
Abe.
Oh.
Can I?
Do that on Fantasy Grounds.
You're going to right-click the D10 and say percent.
Okay.
All right, stop right there before anybody goes further. Jasper.
I'm on a map. Probably not
I'll
going to
do one at a
work.
time. Jasper, 63. You lose your left leg, and you take 2d10 plus 10 damage. So I will do... Jasper,
Oh,
your
man.
left leg is missing, and you take 26 points of damage. Nomad, you rolled a 3. You take 4d10 plus 20 damage.
All right.
Wow, that's super low. 33 damage. Hestia, 72. You are missing your right leg, and take 2d10 points of damage plus 10.
This is normal.
This is definitely normal.
This is
29 points of damage. Okay.
You know, I'm
okay, who's
thinking
next?
my
Gabriel.
my
Okay,
adventures with the
36.
Lich are a lot safer.
Maleth.
Accidentally rolled
Yeah, you're
2
fine.
instead of 1.
Okay, Gabriel. Wow. What? Okay, what is this? Nobody's getting high enough to lose enough limbs. Okay. Gabriel, you take 4d10 plus 20 points of damage.
Ooh.
41 points of damage. Maleth, go ahead
I'm
and reroll.
down.
You're unconscious?
I'm unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say this is probably enough
I'm
damage to
unconscious.
kill me.
Yep.
What are you at, Maleth?
I mean, if we were only at half our HP, I was at like 18 before rolling this, so I'm
your
like dead.
Total health is what? You should be 8 times your level. 42. Okay, go ahead and roll. I need your D100.
Okay, let me try it. Hopefully, I'll get it twice this time. But I'm only have like a touchpad on my Mac,
You're good.
so
I
it's
can
like kind of hard to.
I can roll it for you if you'd prefer. But
Yes, I would
Okay.
prefer that.
for you, 33. 4d10 plus 20.
4d10 plus
Oops.
20.
Wrong thing. Okay. Malith, you drop. Okay, so let's see. What does that put everyone at? Hestia, what are you at? If you took...
I had 16 health points. I have 38 damage at the moment.
What are you doing?
So I should.
Your total is not 16, by the way.
Yeah, I.
So let's make sure our total hit points are correct before we go forward. Because I think a lot of you didn't have what it should be. Malith, you should have... What is it? Yeah, what's 8 times 6? 48.
48.
48. Okay, so you started with 24, and then you took 52. Okay, so yeah, you are Dunskies, I think. Nomad, did you have your health in properly?
No.
Okay.
What do you mean improperly?
What
I
is
knew
your
I should have
total
used the
hit
turn to heal
points?
myself.
So your HP, your actual HP that you have on Fantasy Grounds should never change. Wounds is how much damage you have. HP is what your total hit points is. What's your hit die, Nomad?
Oh, 10. Sorry, I forgot. You only change wounds.
Why can't I remember? 13 times 6, that would be 78. And then you took, how much was it? Oh, you took the 33.
33.
Okay, so you are still standing, though you are hurt. Hestia, what is your hit die? Do you remember? I'll pull it up.
I don't. Sorry.
You're good. You're good. New classes and all that. So D8 plus your con mod is -1. So 7 per level. 7 times 6 is 46. No, yes? No. Why can't I do math? This is embarrassing. What's 7
42.
times 6? 42. Okay. And then you took an additional 29. Okay. So you are unconscious and bleeding out, but you are not dead.
Woo.
Just almost dead,
Okay.
which is slightly alive.
I'm very dead.
Just nearly dead.
It's nearly dead.
Let's see. Where are we? Who else have we not looked at? Okay, Gabe.
Well, I couldn't remember exactly what you told me. I thought it was 20 something, but that seems kind of low given how many die I should have rolled. So I don't know.
What was it? You got 63. Okay, so 2d10. You
Oh,
had 26.
Yeah, it was 26.
So you are
was it?
also
Okay.
unconscious and bleeding out, Jasper. Let's see.
Wait, no, hold on. I didn't have. You added the. I already had the wounds there. You just added more wounds.
No, so the 24 was what you had before we started.
No, it wasn't. I
started at
put
half
that
health.
there.
No, but no, you started at half health.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. 24
Cool,
for
alright.
half, then an extra 26 damage.
I didn't. Because I put in the 24 myself just now. I didn't realize that I was supposed to do that earlier. I forgot. Sorry.
Right, so Malith, you're. Okay. Okay.
I didn't lose any limbs.
Wait, what? Oh. Yeah, with a roll like that,
we'll
you
get
don't
our
lose
limbs
anything.
back as I pass out.
Wait, how do you get 112%?
That was she accidentally had a 2d100, so I re-rolled for her and I got a 33.
Okay.
Yes.
Dang.
Which put her into the less limb loss but more damage category.
I gotta tell my wife, hey babe, We're only a few minutes in. I've already lost an entire leg, and I'm passed out.
Okay.
We're on our.
And
All right. So
we already lost a
okay.
party member.
So as you come to Nomad, you are conscious, though hurting drastically. Gabriel. Oh, Gabriel, I didn't do your hit points. What is your hit dice? Do you remember?
D8.
D8. Let's see. So you're a 10 per level. Yep, 60. Okay, so you started with 30, and then what did you take at the end? What did you roll? 36. Okay, you were the second. 30. Okay, you are unconscious and bleeding out, very close to death. Okay, Nomad, you're
Okay,
the
how
only
many
one.
people are unconscious?
You look around you, and the only other person standing is Master Vakelian.
I'm going to.
You
What?
notice your companions. A couple are missing limbs of yes, a couple are missing limbs. Everyone is lying motionless except you and Vakelian. Vakelian appears to be unharmed, though very hurt looking. So like no evident bleeding or anything.
Okay, I'm going to use the last 2 fervor charges that I have to immediately channel energy for 2d6.
All right, everybody else stabilizes. Maleth, you are still not among the living.
That is embarrassing.
Yes. Do
If
you?
anyone does not rise from that, I will go and cast Stabilize on them.
What did you get? Oh, okay. It at least stabilizes everyone.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's a guaranteed stabilize if you have magic.
Including me?
Everyone
Am I
but you.
awake again, or am I still passed out?
You are passed out, but you will come to quickly. Here, real quick, Kayla, I'm gonna pull you into another voice chat for a moment.
Okay, cool.
Can I ask real fast?
Yes.
So, how many people are missing limbs?
Actually, it is Jasper and Hestia are both missing a limb. Did you guys both lose a leg?
Yeah, left leg.
Oh, you lost your arm? Okay.
Okay. I am going to bind those wounds for them.
Okay.
Is Vakelian doing anything?
He is nursing his head and then he's taking a look at his assistants. He does cast channel energy. It is weak. Like it's because, especially considering how strong he is, you're surprised it's so weak. Probably because of his cross training, you would wager. But it is enough to at least bring everybody else who is alive back to consciousness. Two of the assistants don't stir even after that, and neither does Maleth. Her body.
I'm gonna run over. Sorry,
Hold on
I'm
one
gonna run
second.
over. Okay.
One moment. I'm going to pull Kayla into another thing for just a moment. All right. So real quick, Kayla.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. This was mostly planned. I didn't know specifically who or how or specifically what, but this is not going to be permanent for your character. So I just want
Okay, I was wondering.
I wanted to make sure that you know that unless you need me to, I'm going to keep the how and the what and the why a mystery. If you're okay observing for just a little bit.
I'm okay
Is that
with
all right
that.
with you? Okay. Then
Cool.
yeah, just I have a plan. Everything is taken care of. Don't worry. I just wanted to make sure
Wait.
that you knew that. So
Cool. I was wondering if I was gonna have to make another character
Nope,
or not.
nope,
So
nope. You're good. Okay. I'm
alrighty.
gonna toss you back in the other one.
Me too. If he was really rude.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially if it's you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Just kidding.
Hestia, you're missing your left arm, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, you're missing your left arm, and then Jasper, which leg was it that I said you're missing?
Left leg.
Left leg. Okay. You didn't lose any items. Okay.
Right.
Yes. Now you know I asked you to define which items you had in which locations.
Yep.
I was surprised. 3 of you rolled for just raw damage instead of a limb, but it is what it is.
I am happy
If I
about
had
that.
lost that staff, I would have been unbelievably, unchainedly pissed off.
I don't blame you.
About that.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's there. He got it. I was not expecting him to get it. I'm gonna have to figure out what that staff is later. I don't know off the top of my head, so I'll have to go find out. But You snagged the Lich's staff, and he was none too pleased about it. Okay. After a short amount of time, actually, well, a decent amount of time, enough time for you guys to kind of gather yourselves. Was there anything else you wanted to do?
If nobody else is moving, I'm going to try and rush to them, uh, stabilize them, and see if
Okay.
before I do a heal check, and then I want to try and do a heal check on
Maleth is
people.
dead
Oh shit!
with a capital D.
My cat looked at the screen as soon as you said that.
DED dead.
Can I heal her?
You
DED.
are unable to heal her. That was a reference that probably nobody got, but that's fine. All right.
I feel like I've
No,
heard that
I got
before.
it.
Okay, Cameron, I'm going to pull you into the other
I'll
chat for a
laugh
second.
later.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, I can't remember if I told you this before. If I didn't, then a little bit before this, or as this happens, you would have gotten a notice from some messenger from Lord Bellevant saying he just noticed his wizards just got note of an attempted teleport, and
Yep.
based on the circumstances, did I tell you this already?
Nope.
Okay, that he's pretty sure that it was Vocalion, and
Okay, perfect.
he tells you where, and says, "Go meet your companions. Like, take care of your stuff. I'm tired of waiting."
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Okay. All right, let me get my camera back on.
Can I inflict wounds on her, please?
That was
What?
amazing.
Excuse me?
That will
I'm
also
proud
do
of
nothing.
you.
That will also do nothing to her. She is dead. Dead beyond what you can do. So,
One inflict wounds doesn't even help.
after is there anything else that you guys want to do after you try and check things and you realize that Maleth is gone beyond your capacity to revive?
I want to use my gravesite just to see, is she what I can, yeah,
You
what
can,
status is she?
as you do this, you can tell that there's still a residual spirit holding on. It has not fully left her body, but the body has no life left in it. And same with two of Master Vocalion's assistants, one of the wizards and one of the clerics. They are also both dead. And you notice that one of the clerics is nursing a missing right arm, and after a short amount of listening, you can tell that their holy symbol was in their right hand when this happened. And as you look around you, by the way, the limbs are nowhere to be seen. So you don't know where the missing limbs are. And there's between all of you, there's two of the servants that are, or two of the assistants that are missing a limb, one of which is one of the ones that died, and then two of your party are also missing a limb. Is there anything else that you would do? Oh, actually, one other thing. There is no sign nearby of any enemies. You can see a tall city wall in the distance, not too far. And a bit further away, you can see what appears to be a mass of undead between you and the city, but nothing seems to have noticed you. And there are pockets around the city that are not covered in undead, but there does appear to be a siege going on. Would you do anything else before you move from this area?
I'm gonna go to the cleric and ask him, "Who's your god?"
The cleric looks up at you and look, the one that's missing the holy symbol.
Yeah,
I follow Pelor.
Taylor. I have a couple extra symbols, but nope, non-Palor. I'm sorry.
He looks at you quizzically and then nods his head and
Uh, yeah, sorry.
goes back to nursing his missing arm. And the female wizard who is standing above him is just comforting him and consoling him, and periodically she tosses a glance at Vocalion.
Did you say the city wall looked like it was being attacked? So there was some kind of attack
Yes, it
going
is
on?
currently under siege.
Okay.
As you are all kind of collecting yourselves, you see two figures approaching from the city. They're coming from a part that does not appear to be under siege. They may have. You're not sure if they came from the city or not, but whatever it was, they appeared to slip out. Cameron, would you go ahead and describe them?
Yeah. So the first is a really massive hulking man. He's probably bordering on about 6'8". He is just a mass of rippling muscles. You see some fairly nice armor and a giant two-handed sword on his back. He kind of walks ahead of a slender man who seems, for all intents and purposes, his opposite. The slender man has tied back blonde hair. His robes are white and gold and red. He doesn't seem to be armed at all, but he has a staff that he kind of walks with, and then his left arm is completely bandaged up. So he walks up with a smile on his face. He says, "About time that you got here. The name's Dunsinane, and this is Wrath. Don't know if he'll talk much to you, but welcome to the siege."
I just look at him. I don't say anything.
I lie down unconscious.
Out of curiosity, can I investigate what's going on with Merilith? Or Merilith, that's her name?
So
Bailiff.
what did you guys do with the bodies of the? There are 3
I
bodies
would've-
that are. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I would have picked up Maleth, and then I would have seen if anyone else could have carried bodies.
I'm going to put gentle repose onto Maleth and try and preserve her body so I can hopefully put her spirit back in it.
Could I do something about Maleth?
Are you asking me or are you asking the party? Are you asking in character?
I'm asking you.
I don't know why you're asking me.
Okay,
You know
I'm gonna go.
You know your abilities. You know everything
Okay.
else. Oh, I forgot to tell you this before, but I would wager that if you didn't already have Speak with Dead prepared, then I will rule 0 that you can say that you had it prepared. So
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I can get it prepared. She has. Well,
Do
why don't
do
you
have
use
it prepared?
I don't have it prepared, but I have Detect Undead prepared.
Okay. Cameron's character has Speak with Dead prepared. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and speak with Dead with her.
okay. Speak with Dead allows you to speak with her. So Marith, you feel a tug on your soul as you are brought back at least partially to the land of the living. As you have for at least a moment control of your mouth and your face and your vocal capacities. And you come to for a moment, and you are distinctly aware that you have no connection to the rest of your body. It feels very dead. And the feeling of you being here is very much different than when you were alive, but you are still here, at least for a moment. Dunstan.
So I talked with her. And I say to her, "Do you want me to bring it back?"
Yes, but be careful. Positive energy won't work on me.
Okay, I understand. I'm going to.
Are you going to cast the spell?
Yeah, so I'm going to.
Everybody else make a spellcraft check.
So Dunsinane takes off his bandages, and you see the symbol of Pharasma is emblazoned on his arm, and goes all the way up to his elbow, and is tattooed, circling his entire arm. As he places it on her, you notice that it starts to glow, and you see Malith's spirit start to go back into her body.
I'll set her down as he does that.
Okay. Everybody who has spellcraft, please make a spellcraft check. Gabriel, you did. Hestia,
Natural
you
20.
do not recognize the spell. Gabriel,
Take
let
this
me.
check, even though I'm dead.
Yes, you were aware enough that I will allow you to do this. Although, given now, Cameron, I know we talked about this. Given the nature of the thing, is she able to accept or reject this?
I would say that given my relationship, yes.
Okay, given your
And that's why I
relationship,
asked her
yes.
first if she wants me to bring her back.
So, you know what? There's enough people who probably got it. Did you, Maleth, Gabriel, Jasper? Did you use detect or spellcraft to identify
I'm
the spell?
unconscious.
You were brought back. Oh, did you faint again? That's what you're saying.
Wait,
you
wait.
were brought. You were brought back.
I thought it was stabilized.
You were
not,
stabilized and brought conscious.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we healed you
At
back.
this point, it's been probably 20 or 30 minutes since you got teleported here. You've been stabilized, healed at least enough to not be dying.
Oh.
So everyone who's not dead
didn't hear
is
the heal part.
conscious. Sorry.
I will definitely roll that check then. Holy
Yes.
cow.
Also, I'll let go off my necklace as soon as I
Okay.
see the tattoo.
It was a 20 for a second.
Okay, here's the best thing. Here's the best thing.
Sorry.
Jasper, as you're watching, you realize you're surprised he's actually casting Raise Dead. He's casting Raise Dead to bring her back. Hestia, you actually see the same thing. You see that he's casting because you both had a nat one. You see it and you mistake the spell for Raise Dead. Everybody else, actually, Dunson, and I'll let you say what spell you're casting.
I'm casting Animate Dead. Out of curiosity, does she get the plus?
No.
Okay,
No.
that's fine. I wanted to double check if she.
Yeah. Because of the circumstances of how this is created, because you're animating, especially a freshly dead corpse like this,
Okay.
it will not.
Okay, that's fine.
Maleth, you recognize this, and you are able to accept or reject the spell, if you so desire.
And it's animate dead. Let me look up what that actually does.
He is bringing you back either as a skeleton or a zombie. I'm not sure which he did. Which are you bringing her back as?
I would bring her back as a zombie, mostly because she like I imagine that she wants her fleshy bits.
Yes.
I would ask, that's a name. You call upon Pharasma's power?
Did you make a spellcraft check, Parley?
You said it was an icon of Pharasma on his hand.
Yes. Okay, yes. Go ahead.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Then why are
and I
you
have
using
a complicated
necromancy?
relationship.
You won't recognize it as necromancy. Since you don't have spellcraft, Parley, you will just know that he cast a spell using his Pharasma symbol, and that she's coming back.
All right.
Oh,
I recognize it.
Yes.
Actually, I need to send you a message.
Okay.
So, do you accept it?
I guess this is the only way I get to live, right?
No, that's the way that you can live right now. If you don't accept it, then we will find something to do in the meantime until other methods of bringing you back can be secured.
Okay, I don't think I can accept this. I've spent my whole life fighting against becoming more undead than I already am.
I pause for a second and I say, I can tell you're hesitant. Let me explain. Positive and negative energy are really, to some extent, the same thing. They are simply energy, and how we use them is up to us. I can promise you that no harm will come of this. You are you, and you will inhabit who you are. but I respect your choice. You make it.
Are we all hearing this?
Yes, he's saying this out loud.
I get the slightest bit out of hand and cause harm to people. I want you to murder me back.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now may I pose that
Feeling-
question towards you, Cameron?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Taggart. Do you want to
Yeah, go ahead. No, go
say
ahead.
something first? Okay. So yeah, why would you use necromancy, being a follower of Pharasma? How has she not struck you down from the heavens yet for that sin?
Wait, I thought.
Phrasma and I have a complicated relationship. And
Sometimes, oh, sorry.
go ahead, please.
Sometimes we do good things. Sometimes we do bad things. As long as we help bring balance, it's what we do, isn't it? And I'm just going to pull down my shirt and show off a tattooed symbol of Pharasma in my chest.
And
We do what we have to.
Oh, real quick, Jasper, is your necklace still visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dunson and you would recognize his necklace is also a symbol of Pharasma.
Mine too,
That's-
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I smile and I say, I see that I'm amongst friends. You may call me Sin.
Did I miss
I'm
something?
sorry, did I miss something? Or am I the only one that doesn't follow Pharasma?
So, so Jasper looks to Nomad and says, "I did you see something I didn't see because I saw him casting Raise Dead. What's going on here?"
He used necromancy.
Well, I mean, I
That was not raised dead.
mean, can you be more specific? Because there's a school of You mean like
Your god hates necromancy, as I understand it. They abhor undead. I'm curious as to why he used that just now to create undead.
create un?
It
If
is
I
for the
may-
So
purposes.
Jasper
Yeah.
like instinctually he tries to raise himself up.
As you're getting a little bit more like animated by this, you notice that Wrath standing next to me gets a little bit you can tell that he's looking at me, kind of checking to see if I'm okay. And I look at you and I say, Phrasma hates improper necromancy. There are some very strict guidelines with extreme costs by which it may be temporarily practiced.
Ugh. You priests and your gods, with all of your silly little rules you have to follow, lest their wrath come upon you or you lose your powers. Ridiculous.
The
But what's done is done.
The vampire spawn being who she is already intolerable enough. You'd make her come back as some kind of undead servant.
He is not bound to me. I simply have
You're
brought
welcome
it back.
to kill me again if you have a problem with it.
So, real quick, Maleth, as feeling, or at least a semblance of feeling, begins to return to your body, you find that you again have motor control, though it's almost as if you're numb. You can feel through your body, but also you can't. It's almost as if when something happens, you know that it's there, as if you're getting, your brain's getting the sensor saying, I'm being touched here, but it's almost like you're looking at it on a screen as far as how much it affects you. You know where it is, you know that you're being touched, you know that there's contact, you may even know that there is pain to your body, if there is, but you cannot feel any of it. And you feel, the best way that you can describe it, it's as if there is some connection that you have right now to Dunsonen, to Sin, that feels almost like a buffer or a shield around you. And so long as you remain connected with him, despite having been raised as undead, you will retain your autonomy. But you can tell by looking at this connection, this spiritual connection of sorts, that at least right now, were you to be released from his control, you would also lose your autonomy and you would become as the mindless undead. Your spirit would no longer be able to maintain its hold on your body, and you would just become a zombie.
Well, this does not sound like a way to live.
I think I can help you as well.
Well, I hope so. In the meantime, I guess this will do.
This is where invoking the power of the gods hurts people. Right here.
Well, thanks. I'm still not certain about this, but
Vocalion looks at you all. He looks at his apprentices and back to you, Dunsonen, and he says, I'm not sure that they would be as amenable to your handiwork as Maleth is, though I suppose this will do, at least as a temporary arrangement. But I would think that we need to get into the walls of the city. There's no opportunity really to rest here. We may not have been spotted yet, but in truth, only the dead rest in Zelkir.
We should wait until the siege is broken, lest we encounter undead.
Sin, you were able to escape the city. Would you be able to lead us back the way that you came? I
Yep.
presume there are tunnels somewhere under the city that allowed you to leave unaccosted.
Yeah, we can go there.
Lead the way.
Okay. As we go, I'm going
Here,
to.
hold on one
I'm
sec. What was it you had, Jake?
Okay.
I said, help me up, someone.
Wrath comes up and almost like a rag doll just lifts you up and just like puts you on his shoulders.
Not what I had in mind.
Because you're still missing a leg, right?
Yep. He's missing.
Wait, he'd fit perfectly. Then that space where his leg is gone, you fit him around his head.
Yeah. So yeah, Wrath just lifts you up and put you on his shoulders like on a piggyback ride.
All right. So the party will make their way into the city, and from there you will be able to meet the leader of the only freestanding city in Zelkir. But for now, nursing your wounds, you have many thoughts running through your minds, and that is where we will end the night. Welcome to Zelkir, the land of death.
Yeah!
It was fun to play Abe one last time.
Yeah. Was that
That
on
makes me
purpose?
pissed.
Oh yeah, that was on purpose.
Oh,
To be
dude,
clear,
I got excited about like Abe and Gabe. I got excited about
Me
Abe
too.
and Gabe. Now I got Abe and Gabe blue balls, man. Like, no.
you know, glad we finally solved the mystery of what exactly happened to Abe.
I'm sad. I loved that character.
Oh, you'll love
I
Sin
really
too.
did. No, I won't. No.
Sin owes me a lot of help figuring some magical stuff out.
Can we get a description of Sin?
Oh yeah. So I'll get a picture of Sin.
oh
Yeah. Nice nickname.
Yeah. I thought
You
it fit.
wear it like a badge of honor, huh?
Absolutely. Sin and Wrath.
Still don't know what I think about my character being zombified.
Does Sin have a male harem of 7 mysterious
brides.
Right.
Well, Kayla, if
Well,
if
well,
it could feel
Malith is
better,
now
better.
Malith is now lust.
Right.
I can always make you a zombie too and tie you to me if you don't want to be tied to him.
Please, no more undead.
Zombie-
My neck and my chest are gonna go
That-
numb.
That may not
Okay.
be totally true, Erica.
May is not sure she wants to be a zombie at all.
He, well,
Ooh.
he's a specific circumstance, so
Faces a specific circumstance. Fine.
it would be. Yeah.
So,
Sorry,
I
carry on.
put a
Carry
picture-
on, Kayla. But yes,
oh yeah, what were you saying, Kayla?
I was just saying, Malith is not very sure if she wants to be a zombie at all. I don't think it matters who she's tied to.
I'm not very sure I'm ready to see cat anus, so push your cat off the table before it turns around.
I'm just waiting for that. I was just waiting for it.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Leave them
You're allowed to love your cat. The only thing I hate more than cat is cat butt. I'm sorry.
But Kayla, I raised you. I made you an undead out of love.
and it was
loving
totally
slave.
consensual as well.
You don't even know me.
This campaign
Yeah,
is
take her out
to
dinner
already
first.
crazy.
So why couldn't we raise her and like heal her?
So, for context, Raise Dead is a 5th level spell,
Mhm.
and you would need a 9th level cleric in order to cast that.
Well, if it helps, I did cast a spell on your body that should help your body stay not decomposed.
Together.
Yeah,
Was it Gentle
Gen-
Repose?
Gentle Repose,
What's
yeah.
the duration of that?
as long as if I need to.
Well, I know.
redo it
I'm just
every
wanting
day.
to see how frequently do we need to have that be a thing that gets recast.
Let's see.
Can restoration restore limbs?
I think greater
no,
restoration does.
No, it is actually a
It
separate
says
spell.
1 day per level.
So yes,
I
you'll have to
can-
renew it every 6 days.
Yeah,
Right now.
I can do
So
that.
it is. Oh gosh, I know we talked about this, Cameron. It is lesser regeneration if you have the limb, regular regeneration if you do not have the limb.
Did I just cast mend on myself? Make whole.
Oh, that's fantastic.
May I ask, can I
Yes.
continue, at least at all, with Sin and ask about
Yeah,
that
oh, yeah,
complicated
totally.
relationship he
Totally,
has?
absolutely.
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
if Sin doesn't
we're
mind.
not gonna go into the city tonight. But if you guys want to role play
Yeah.
or just talk out of character, in character, however you want to do it.
I think that is a discussion that Jasper will be a part of since he's kind of there on the shoulder of wrath.
I didn't plan that, especially since I had no idea who, if anybody, would lose limbs or how. But having Wrath there and Jasper who lost a leg, it's perfect. It's so perfect.
So, also,
Hey,
I
now
love
I only have one army.
the sentiment, like the phrase "on the shoulder of wrath." That just sounds really cool. So, anyhow.
Wait, now we just fuse him to Wrath. So it's like he has like a turret pretty much on him that can cast arcane spells.
Yep.
Mobile turret. Oh, seriously though, he can be your mount. You have him move around. And,
Wait, no,
Well, I
literally,
mean,
yeah. We could do that too.
yeah, just tie
Wrath's strength is insane.
tie you
Wrath's
to
strength
him,
is insane.
so he can still be like using his sword, and then just be like have you tied onto his back, and it's like he'll use the sword, and you'll be like pew pew pew.
I love this.
Hold on,
Oh,
we gotta
boy.
come back. We gotta come back to the role playing while it's still somewhat there.
Okay,
I'm
sorry,
already
I'm
losing
sorry.
those jokes.
Don't worry, I have some
So-
nice ones to mix in throughout the campaign.
So, what was your question, Nomad?
The complicated relationship you have. Can you expand on that at all?
Oh, wow, you're just getting to the personal questions, aren't you?
They're gay. Leave them alone.
That's right.
Curious too here. Like, I don't
Personal
even
questions
know
just aren't
you,
fun.
and here I am tied to you.
All right.
We want
Fine.
answers.
Yeah.
Real quick, Cameron, I cannot remember. Is there a range that she needs to stay within, or is it just as long as? Okay, yeah.
Nope. She doesn't need to stay in range of me at all. So,
I can find a better
yep.
solution to my dilemma than this. But
See, I'm not sure if you being the only one who died, Kayla, is like I don't even know how I feel about that. Like it's like I don't know if that's perfect or like the most difficult one or what, but it's interesting.
mixed feelings
Staggered.
too. I really was unsure about the zombie
Or-
decision.
Hmm.
Part of me
DM.
was like, I don't want this. I don't like this.
Yes.
So a zombie and a vampire had a grandbaby, and
It's a Zampire.
Okay, go ahead,
with
Jake.
my upbringing, with my knowledge, I want to know if I could gather what Sin might have meant by that, because he clearly, now I know he cast some type of
Raise
raising necromancy thing. So I want to know, okay, like what could this possibly mean? What's the possible explanation?
Go ahead and roll a knowledge religion check.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Let's see how we do.
He'll get
I'm
another
actually-
natural
Not
one.
one.
actually,
A
I'm going
25.
to take my necklace off. I'm going to take my necklace off, and I'm gonna tell Jasper. Jasper, sorry, right? Is that your name?
Jake or Cameron?
Jasper, Jake.
Yeah, Jasper Jake.
Jasper. I'm gonna let Jasper hold my necklace, holy symbol. I don't know if
Yeah.
that'll give him a bonus with that, but
So the holy symbol allows you to it's casting a continual detect undead in an aura around you, and you can tell that both Wrath and Maleth are undead.
yeah, I know. Neat trick.
I tossed
So
Although Wrath at this moment doesn't look undead at
he
all.
doesn't. So Cameron,
Yeah.
I'll defer to your thoughts on this. Does a 25 knowledge religion mean that Jasper has ever heard anything?
I would say he would. Good.
And keep in mind he is someone who is a follower of Pharasma, so there may be a circumstantial bonus in there. I'll let you decide if that would be enough, because you and your backstory determined kind of how niche and how secluded and all that stuff. So would he have heard anything with that? Probably somewhere in the total range of maybe 28.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was thinking, really anything above 25 would have got a good idea. So you would have had an inkling. This is more of like a myth about a society of people who were essentially, they believed very highly in ancestors and believed highly that as a whole we should strive to prepare ourselves in case the worst were to happen. And so you had heard that potentially at some point in time they had practiced necromancy. I would say that for the most part, the most that you would have heard as a whole is that they may have practiced necromancy in the past, and that they, in general, used it very sparingly.
followers of Pharasma. Okay.
Now I am going to go. I am going to go to Sin. Be like, hey, first of all, Gabriel, nice to meet you. Second of all, well, I guess we're appreciative of this. I don't know. I'm gonna gesture towards Maleth, but
I don't know if I'm
in any
appreciative.
case, well, or appreciative or not, I am going to request your help figuring this out. I need to mute this for both of you, because I don't want my neck and my chest going numb. So,
wait,
Why would it go numb?
Do you want to describe what it is?
Are you partially undead?
no, I'm not. I'm very much alive.
But
So
you
I
are,
hold up.
and he is.
Yeah. So I hold up my necklace, silver symbol of Pharasma, and okay. So I hold it up. I show it to you guys. So this is enchanted. This is special, not just because it's a symbol of Pharasma. I can cast spells through this, but it is also magical. About 30 feet in a circle around me, I can sense any undead near me. Uh, I had this special made when I started hunting the undead, and now it's vibrating constantly, nonstop, because we have a couple friends in our midst, and I really don't want this expensive spell to an item to go to waste. Uh, it is actually quite useful in this profession, as you can imagine. So,
Just when you're with the group, less so. At least when you're this
yeah,
close to those two members specifically.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to go to Malith, and I'm going to. You notice that most of my clothes are very are well worn. Most everything that I own, you can tell, has been repatched and reworked, and I don't. It doesn't look like I would have a lot of money at all. But I reach into my pack and I pull out a vial that is pure diamond. It has been etched and framed, and everything is made out of pure diamonds. And as I lift it out, I break off a small piece and I hand it to you. And I say, "This is your soul. Anytime that you want it back, or you would like to be the steward of it again, you let me know. But I will tie you to this world, and I will keep you safe."
That's why diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Say again?
That's why diamonds are a girl's best friend.
This is exactly what diamonds are a girl's
So it
best
holds
friend.
on to your soul.
Absolutely.
Now,
Maleth, go ahead and make a knowledge. Oh, gosh, I'm gonna say knowledge religion check.
Okay.
You can if you no, not right now. Sorry, just Maleth.
I only got a 17.
Given that this is related to undead, I think you got high enough. So you know that Raise Dead the spell does not work on undead. However, were you to find someone capable of casting it, and your party were to kill you, and your body is preserved as it has been from the gentle repose, then you would be able to be brought back to life as it was prior to you being killed by the teleportation spell.
Okay.
So you know that your condition need not be permanent should you be able to find someone capable of casting Raise Dead.
You just have to find someone.
Yeah. You know it's a I think nobody in the party is able to cast higher than a third level spell. Raise Dead is a fifth level spell.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, not yet, not yet. But I mean, nobody's talked to Master Vokelian, but he didn't offer anything.
Okay. I want to turn to Jasper and say, "You seem a bit uncomfortable."
well, I am being lugged around by this Hulk here. Uh, I don't mean to get off on the wrong foot. It's
Well, you don't have really a foot to get off on.
Well, that was the joke, but it's not well known, but it's no secret that there are necromancers, if you will, in the service of Pharasma. Just not the kind that raise dead. I've heard a story or two, but it's been regarded as heresy and has been swept aside, shunned whenever brought up. So
You're right about one thing. It is absolutely heresy. And it is absolutely condemned.
I'm also a follower of Pharasma, and I can do that.
I'm also a follower of Pharasma.
I am Spartacus. Okay, 1 second. Thomas is moving.
I'm
So it's
sorry.
converted you already.
No, I would never follow any god so long as I lived.
I'm not agnostic for
fine.
myself, but that
Well,
maybe I should
Nomad, if
reconsider.
it's any consolation, I don't really follow her either.
I'm glad to hear that.
Malith is just gonna look at you puzzled. Very confused.
Following Pharasma can look very different from person to person.
I guess it depends on what that person respects and doesn't respect.
Sure.
At this
So
point-
why don't you just live your own life? Why devote your life to a god then?
Because I can. And I feel like
I pull out my the vial and like, so this is Aunt Janet, and this is Uncle Steve, and this is Marwin. This is my family right here, and this is who I follow.
I'm sorry. I seem to just not understand this whatsoever. So you do follow her, but you don't. You have a relationship with her, but you don't do what she says.
That's about it. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I kind of do the same. Like
look,
people,
I'm not. Yeah.
people look at me weird because this signet ring is a holy symbol, but if you look closely, it's not Pharasma. This is Moradin. But this was a present from my dear friend. So, we just following Pharasma. Like I said, looks a million different ways. It's different for everybody.
You know, I didn't think religion could seem stranger, and then I met you guys.
So,
Okay,
Nomad, what do you believe? Or what do you want?
plenty of strange people who are in religion.
dear gods, not this conversation.
Fine, what's
Who
your
are
favorite
we?
color?
Of
Where do we
belief?
come from? Where do we go after we die?
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Because I was going through my head too.
So I think Cameron also got what I was going with that, and I'm glad he got it.
Well,
Oh, my
I
goodness.
believe that man should improve himself. And anything that a god offers is always a poison cup or a chain. There's always give and take. There's never true freedom when you're following a god. I believe that man should improve themselves to become better, not to look to the gods. That's the only way that we're ever going to improve. Gods
As
always
you
serve an agenda, and always their ego. Never anything more, never anything less.
As you say this, you notice that Wrath stops. He lifts he lifts off Jasper, puts him on the ground, turns towards you, takes off the massive sword.
Oh, hold on. Before he says that, I'll say, "Are you sure you want to do that? I can have you on the ground before you even draw that steel, and I'll
He draws.
draw my whip."
He draws
I'm gonna
his
take out of my
sword.
flask.
He draws his sword,
Free character.
puts it into the ground, and then walks over and gives you a hug.
I'm gonna have like the most like confused look on my face.
How does it feel, by the way? Because he's
Oh yeah, it feels. I would say as he gives him a hug, the hat
Pony.
falls off, and you notice that it is just a giant, massive bones that's hugging you.
giant skeleton, a large or well, a big
Well,
skeleton,
Human-sized, but a tall
big
skeleton.
human-sized skeleton.
So it's bony.
It's like a Tongan skeleton.
It's a Tongan.
He's big and tall.
It's a Tongan skeleton
Wow.
who's just giving you a hug.
I'm glad to know I'm not the weirdest person in this group now. I was expecting
Wait.
to be.
I just
Come on.
realized I almost outed him as undead to everybody else. When I went up to Sin with my symbol, and I was like, "Hey, you gotta help me out because of the two of you. I don't want this going off all the time." And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go up to Sin and
I
be like,
outed him as well as the DM.
That's okay. So Wrath picks up his hat afterward, fits it back on. You see that his body again becomes this, this rippling, massive form, and he looks at you, and you notice that he does something with his hands, and then picks up his sword.
Knowledge linguistics, or not knowledge linguistics. You guys can make a linguistics check if you want. I think DC 15 would be sufficient.
24.
What is linguistics?
You guys ready for something tragic?
Woohoo! 26.
Yep.
Okay, everybody except Nomad recognizes that he's using sign language, or some form of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, Gabriel, I thought you already did it. Okay, Gabriel, you also did not.
"Oh,
Everyone but Gabriel and Nomad recognizes sign language. So, Wrath is using sign language, is what I'm saying.
So
I've been
Wrath, what?
I've been turned into a zombie by a skeleton.
No, you've been turned into a zombie by a person.
So Wrath is the one who's a skeleton. Sin is not a skeleton.
Oh. Okay.
I'm two people.
Just a very
Okay.
strange, messed up man.
Yeah, I'm both Wrath and Sin.
Sad little man.
Gotcha.
So
When Raph hugged me, I would have like awkwardly like tapped him on the side, like, "Yeah, all right."
And he just picks up his sword, sheathes it, picks Jasper back up, and
No, I have a cane. I can.
as you say that, he kind of just pats you on the head.
Big man's not a fan of the gods either. I take it. I would say that to Sin.
Oh, I'm gonna go, guys, but I'll see you later.
All right, we love you.
All right.
yeah,
Bye.
Would Sin have
Sorry,
anything to say?
I feel like everything's
No?
been very, very sin centric, so I apologize.
It's okay. Nobody else lost a character completely.
Oh wait, where did
almost did.
Jasper lose his leg at? Like at the knee? Does he still have a knee or what? I need to know this.
Okay, let's find out.
High or low?
I'm gonna roll. Well, I'm not gonna ask you to call it. I'm just gonna roll, and if it's, I'm gonna say 30. Well, no, I'm gonna say, It will not have been cut off below at the knee, so it'll be either above the joint or below the joint. It was below the joint. So
Perfect. I am going to grab my warhammer out from my bag, just a regular warhammer, nothing special about it, and I am going to tie it to his knee, and with the head of the warhammer down, and I'm
that's
gonna
not
see like.
correct. I hope
So
you know that's
I'm
gonna
trying to
hurt
give
a
him a stub
lot.
leg.
What? What are you? I. I mean, I've seen
Yeah,
many strange feats of engineering. I do not think this is a good idea.
trust me. I believe that this might work.
Let's get someone who's an actual amputee to tell us how much that would hurt you.
This is just going to strain my everything.
By
Like
everything.
knowledge engineering 15. What is that?
That tells you this would hurt a lot, and you could
This
probably do better if you just go find a woodworker or something.
Literally just hop on your one foot. That would be better and probably faster.
yes.
When you get tired, have someone heal you for the non-lethal damage of exhaustion. That'll be better off.
Yeah.
He screams in pain with every step.
So
You go through the
out of
struggle to
character,
lift the warhammer, and then you finally get down, and then you land on it. It's like, oh, oh.
If I would have been shaking my leg like no, like you're not doing this. But if he manages to get it on, then so be it.
do
Okay.
do contested strength checks.
I'm going to turn off my camera so Erica can have a little bit of privacy.
Cool.
But thanks, babe.
Hey, turn the camera off, Taggart.
All right, that's my strength check. Go for it. Go for it, Gabe. Let's see what you got. Strong man.
I will assist Gabe in attaching the warhammer.
Forcibly attaching the warhammer.
Just kidding. I'm not going to help.
Wrath is going to help Jasper actually. Oh dear, never mind. That was bad. Well, looks like you got a prosthetic.
Does it? I won.
You won? Oh.
I won the strength check.
Oh yeah, you did have the strength check.
Plus, Wrath would have been helping him too, so...
Oh yeah, he would have gotten a 20. Yeah, he's great.
But with all that, I guess with this weird commotion and stuff, and like I guess the last thing that was said was Jasper. No, it's not Jasper. Nomad asked if Sin 2 is like not a fan of the gods or something like that. What was said?
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said so. The big guy's not a fan of the gods either. I take it.
No. We're like I say, I get my power from my family, from those who have gone before me.
And is he family?
Yeah.
Father, great grandfather, great uncle,
Brother.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry.
Stickers.
Yeah, get in this.
I'm so glad I missed it.
Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was my fault. So that's all right. He forgives me.
certain words, I was like, is he
All
trying
right.
to do that, or does he always sound like that?
So that's good. That's good to know that certain words, at least, I did it right. So I'm gonna keep practicing. I'm gonna have some.
Well, it's funny. I was starting off
Huh?
I was starting off an accent, but you kept on throwing me off. I'm like, darn it.
Yeah, you're trying to do
I kept on
something a little
mimicking you.
Irish, almost, right?
Yeah, but then I kept on mimicking you and so I'm like, darn it.
Yeah.
I have to listen to more Irish people.
Well, the Southern accent and the European accent, like the current, British accent, come from the same accent ancestors. So
Yes, they're very
they are
similar.
kind of similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what is everyone's class?
Here, real quick.
You know, it's okay.
Actually, I think
paladin.
mine's kind of obvious, so I don't know.
Yeah,
You're a
Jack,
paladin,
You're
aren't
a
you?
paladin?
What?
he's a paladin.
No.
A wimpy paladin.
No.
We got him. We got him.
I think I know what Parley is.
I'm not a paladin, no.
I pretty much
Ranger?
listed all of
No,
my
not
class
Ranger,
speakers
cleric.
at this point.
Huh?
Enrique thinks cleric. What do you think, Cameron?
You're a
Oh,
war priest.
for Parley, no, I think Parley's a fighter.
My guess was Blood
That was my guess.
Ranger.
Blood
Blood
Rager's freaking broken.
Red
Well,
Ranger is
no,
really
no,
broken.
I will not play Blood Rager because it's freaking. No disrespect to you, Enrique, but
I love Blood Ragers. Blood Ragers are amazing.
That is a compliment, actually.
if I can just say, guys, why does Blood Rager literally get everything that regular Barbarian gets, but then they get all their Blood Rager stuff and arcane spells? Like,
Because
for me,
F
like,
you,
I think,
that's why.
no, I think Blood Rager is cool, but I think Barbarian is the worst class in Pathfinder, by far. I think Barbarian is just tragic. It is terrible. It's one-track minded. A fighter can literally do everything a Barbarian can, but better in every single way. Way more feats. Barbarians are horrible, feat-starved, awful, worthless, stupid, meat-headed gimps. Barbarians suck. Guys, PSA, never play a Barbarian. They are tragic. They are utter garbage.
Are you a
But
You're
yes,
playing a barbarian, aren't you?
no, I'm not playing a Barbarian. I do love playing terrible things, but I'm not playing a Barbarian.
No, he's a war priest.
If
I am a war priest.
If
Can't
you're a
really
try.
casual wimp like me and you play 5e,
should've
don't
guessed
play a
that.
monk. I currently play a monk, and they're just so wimpy, soft. You just can't.
I should have guessed
so.
that you're a war priest, because I played a war priest for almost 2 years, and I thought about doing it, but I didn't want to break the game because I know the war priest like quite well, and yeah, I didn't want to break the game.
As
But
far
you could
as
totally-
war priest, what? Sorry.
You can totally break the game with a war priest if you want. Like, yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, I do believe that war priest is definitely one of the better classes in Pathfinder by far.
I
Which
think
is
the
why I'm
strongest
using whip.
class.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the strongest class, in my opinion, is Summoner.
Summoner with
Summoner's
the
so
Master
broken.
Summoner archetype,
Uh,
or just regular old Summoner.
no, the Synergist.
Here, real quick, I am going to end the Twitch stream, but then we can keep talking afterwards. So just
Very good.
I should actually peace out just to.
We love you.
Thank-
We love you, Jake Jasper.
Oh.
Yeah.